or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Hi, Kendall Warnock here, owner of A1 Automotive. If you own a BMW, Audi, Volkswagen, or Mini, you know specialized service matters. Our team uses advanced diagnostic equipment, OE equipment, including factory-level software, to accurately diagnose and repair your vehicle. Dealer-level capabilities with hometown service. A1 Automotive, 1117 L Street. You can call us 402-477-4660.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier, furry friends.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they're committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perchmerch.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers, and if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln, this is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln, Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Troy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass, it was tipped, it's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5, he'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black Shirts answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Hour one of Old School is sponsored by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. Welcome in Wednesday edition of Old School, up and rolling for you here on, again, a cloudy, rainy Wednesday in the capital city. Austin Orman, Jay Foreman with you for the next 3 hours. Starting the show off stream only as the Royals are still taking on the Giants, looking to polish off a sweep. As we begin the show, Royals have had a 5-run seventh inning to take a 5-3 lead, punctuated by a 2-run home run by Salvador Perez, a big deal home run as he ties George Brett as the franchise's all-time home runs leader. Salvi and King George, now both with 317 career home runs. We'll keep you updated on that throughout the course of the show. You can be a part of the show, as always, 402-464-5685 with any of your Royals thoughts, college football thoughts, and anything else on your mind. What's on Eric's mind, Jay, first and foremost, he hopes you're doing well. And that's Eric, right? He's always caring, always hoping that, that you're having a good day and a good week.
Well, I appreciate that, Eric. I'm doing all right, man. I appreciate the thoughts. Means a lot. always good when people check in on you, man. It's all good.
Check in on your people.
Yeah.
Shouldn't need to remind you, but in case we do, check in on your people.
Always. You just never know what might pop up.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure Anthony Calandria was going to pop up for Nebraska in the offseason, Jay, but he does indeed become the quarterback that gets the nod from Nebraska out of the transfer portal. And we'll keep this conversation that I know has been setting a lot of people ablaze, if you will. It's been a big talking point. But Anthony Calandria ranked as the number 39 overall quarterback in college football by a series of scouts, general managers, coaches, etc. List not compiled by, but not voted on by writers from The Athletic. These are college football talent evaluators, at least nominally. And let's just start with this. Let's say Anthony Calandria lives up to or plays to that number 39 ranking. What do you think that means for Nebraska? What do you think that looks like over the course of 12 and potentially 13 games?
Yeah, 39. I mean, that would probably correlate to where you'd finish at, maybe.
So probably 7-5?
About that 8-4, 7-5, which obviously with the schedule, at least on paper, that'd be definitely, a positive. And also it's a positive if he performs. Well, he has to perform at the level that's expected.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever that is internally, then he needs to be able to exceed those in the biggest moments against the best competition. And so he could still be at the same ranking, but in those big games, he has to make an impact, but in a positive way.
Yeah, absolutely, he does.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting, too, just to scroll through the list. We can count the number of schools that have their quarterback listed ahead of Anthony Calandria just in the Big Ten. So Dante Moore at Oregon, Julian Sayin at Ohio State, Jaden Mayava at USC, Josh Hoover at Indiana. Then you scroll down, you get DeMond Williams Jr. at Washington, Malik Washington at Maryland, Rocco Becht at Penn State, Nico Yamaleva at UCLA, Drake Lindsay at Minnesota, Bryce Underwood at Michigan, Colton Joseph at Wisconsin. Anthony Calandria, number 39 nationally, number 12 preseason quarterback in the Big Ten, according to this panel of people.
Yeah.
Number 39 nationally seems fine. Number 12 in the Big Ten, that's maybe a little more worrisome. You put it in those terms.
Yes and no.
If he plays to it.
Yes and no, because it's a pretty good quarterback crew this year. I feel like last year the quarterback, crop for last year wasn't as good as this year's. I mean, when you think you got Dante Moore and saying they're going to definitely be first round picks, Maeva and Hoover could play into easily second round picks for sure. DeMond Williams, I think he's it's all in what does it fit your eye, but he's definitely an NFL player and going to be probably drafted mid-round. Malik Washington is not draft eligible yet. He probably has more potential and better just raw skills than anybody in the conference, right? So that's an NFL player, big, strong quarterback. We saw him up close and personal. Rocco Becht, I played against his dad. Rocco's a heck of a player, really good leader. NFL, Nico, if he can find that magic that he did for that 4-game stretch where they had 3 upset victories, and right after their coach got fired, and if he gets their weapons around him, he's a problem. Drake Lindsay, he's kind of the same, as Malik Washington. I think he was a high, thought of prospect, but he showed some flashes. I think that when I talked to a couple of Minnesota people up there, they wish they used him more in the passing game earlier, because then once they kind of open it up a little bit, and that's the way always PJ Fleck does. It kind of really plays close to the vest. So I wouldn't say he's a guy that vision that maybe is going to NFL, but I definitely think he's going to get a shot. And so
he can be a backup. He looks the part, certainly.
Yeah, he fits all the the computer analysis. That's for sure. And so when you look at Bryce Underwood, he's athletically the most gifted, and he's 6'5". And I mean, we saw him in Homeboys for real. Quarterback wise suspect. He won't even be at Michigan next year in 2027. Mark my words.
Ooh, but he's got what, $8 million left, right?
Yeah, that's got to be mutually agreed upon. He's gonna get paid this year. Next year he's gone. And the reason why he's gone is because he's not that good. And I think Calandria, they just threw him in there just because, they didn't evaluate him. Now, granted, it's a big jump for him Mountain West to here. It's a big jump even if he came from Virginia to here.
Mm-hmm.
But he had success last year, and right there where he's at, I don't think it's a negative. It's actually something where you could see that I could see if he has a really good year, he could jump up into that middle to top half, top 3 or tier 3.
Mm-hmm.
He could get up there in leapfrog Lindsey, right? Nebraska plays better. You got to expect Nebraska's going to be better than UCLA. So they just by that alone, you should be up in tier 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then if, depending on what Penn State does and Maryland does, heck, they got a head-to-head match with Damon Williams and Malik Washington. So if you ever want to get up into tier 3, just in him alone, it's right there for the taking. You get up into tier 3, Nebraska, unless we can't stop a nosebleed on defense, is having a really good year. But I will say this, Aiden Childs is kind of in the same category as Calandria and Alicio from Michigan State. To be honest with you, if they would have played him, that game would have been different.
Looked a lot different when he was in there when Childs went out.
And he was the Illinois Player of the Year in high school. Went up there and he's the reason why Aiden Childs is at Northwestern.
Mm-hmm.
Quiet as kept. So right there, and Hauser's a sneaky good quarterback too, with some sneaky weapons. That's the team that you
back
watch
in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, look, that's everybody. So where Calandria is at, he's just got to play better.
I think
or just play better than what people think he's going to play at.
I think the Nebraska fan approach to this should be very similar to the men's basketball team. It looks like it fits better. Now let's go see it actually fit better on the court, right? You talk about the way that roster fit together for Fred Hoiberg. And this is, of course, just one player in one position. There are plenty of other questions, but it seems like Anthony Calandria, fits with what Dana Holgorsen wants to do with Matt Rule, what he wants to do in terms of mobility at the quarterback position. And so if it all comes together, if it all fits the way it seems like it could theoretically, then okay, it's fine to be undervalued. It's, probably normal to be undervalued. I'm not saying that Anthony Calandria is going to develop into a top 2 quarterback in the Big Ten the same way that Nebraska basketball got the 2 seed in the Big Ten. But I think you're completely right in that there's no reason that with the right fit, he can't even be a tier 2 guy potentially. And the Athletic did their whole breakdown of that. The other part I thought was interesting about that, Jay, and it's not on that Big Ten list, but their overall list had Kenny Minchie at number 35. And so when you compare that, and that's a rounding error, essentially, 4 spots different in the same tier. Would you rather have the inexperienced guy that you don't know what the ceiling is, or would you rather have, the experienced guy that's at least been around college football? If, it seems like, according to evaluators, the talent is that different, I'll take the experience, I guess.
Yeah, I'll take Calandria over Minchie just because of he's had success. He started at Virginia, did decent at Virginia. Whatever happened there, and then he went to UNLV and leveled up. No matter what, sure he had the turnover. Sure he needs to tidy that up. He knows it. He's not oblivious to the obvious. I'd definitely take him. And really, with Minchie, it's like you bringing him in there. He has less he's not coming here, but at one point he was coming in less playing time than TJ Lateef.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a big kid, got a strong arm and a lot of potential. But I think Calandria falling to Nebraska actually worked out really well for him.
I agree. And I think that's another way we can take this conversation. And I know there might be some people thinking, well, you're the guy that didn't want Nebraska to take Calandria. Austin, what are you saying? Still not the direction I would have gone. But if evaluators are saying the talent is, that close, sure, maybe I would have liked the younger guy with an eye to the future. But if Nebraska has an eye on 2026 and 2027 as opposed to 2027 and 2028, then it doesn't make as much sense to get a guy that hasn't started, that doesn't have experience. But you mentioned Calandria, quote unquote, falling into Nebraska's lap, Jay. You look at the other guys that are in that similar neighborhood to him. And the question I would have asked is, could Nebraska have done much, quote unquote, better than Anthony Calandria? Just going off that full list of 138, you have Aiden Childs.
Nope, we don't need him.
No, rated lower. Caden Hauser, rated lower. Maybe not the fit. Alonzo Barrett. James Madison, quarterback that set all sorts of records down there, ends up at UCF. Ethan Grunkmeyer, Penn State backup, not a fit. Bo Pribula, maybe higher rated coming out of high school. What does that matter? Not as much of a fit, not the dual threat necessarily. Jalen Rayner from Arkansas State, incredibly unproven. And then Lincoln Kienholz, more pocket-based passer. He's a South Dakota kid, was at Ohio State, and then
I would have took him. I would have took him over. Was it Minchie? I would have took him over him.
Kienholz?
Yeah,
it's fair.
Yeah, if I was going to take one guy unproven, I'm taking Kienholz.
I think it's fair.
No doubt about it.
Mhm.
Way better. Comes from a better stock of quarterback development. He's seen what it's like to be the best. He was a really good prospect under the radar when he came out of high school, just based on where he's from.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Ohio State pushed towards him, and then that coincided with the decommitment of Dylan.
Yeah.
He's for real. Like he's legit for real. And you're right. I don't think Nebraska could have done, much better. So you're right where you're at. So it meant you came, or Calandria came. Really, realistically, let's be honest. Trey Taylor's still waiting in the wings, because I think he had to be close to committing at that time.
Yeah.
Or committed.
Or you started feeling really good about it.
Yeah,
at the
right.
very
He was
least.
close to committing, or kind of a soft commit or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So at the end, that was always going to be in the evaluation process if I was a quarterback, anyways.
Right.
No, sure. Trey Taylor wasn't a 5-star quarterback at that point in time, but you saw him decommit from Illinois, right? A hometown kid decommit from Illinois, when that was the quarterback that Illinois focused on outside of the two really good quarterbacks that are in the state of Illinois as well. So so there's all these dynamics that you think about when you are a quarterback choosing a school, and if you're an advisor for a quarterback. Because you can't just think about this year, especially when you're coming off a redshirt year or a true freshman year. You got 2 more years. You can't think about just this year. You got to think about at least the next, I would say, 2 years and maybe 3 if you need one. You have to make very good decisions. And so really where Nebraska's at, and we're able to get Calandria. Now, granted, you had the 5-for-5 looming and stuff like that, so it gives you a little bit more leeway. But if if it's only for 1 year, Nebraska's got a good get there in Calandria, because his athletic ability can cover up some of the holes that potentially could be there based on lack of continuity early on in the season. And then obviously he's able to extend plays, which then will allow him to be a better passer when he's out there with more space.
We can extend the list the other way. The guys that the Athletic has rated above Calandria in these rankings, just in terms of transfers, and how many of these guys would have been realistic for Nebraska to land. Nebraska was not getting Darian Mensah. There's going to be one team and one team only for him at this point, it seems like. Nebraska wasn't getting Mestemaker, the North Texas guy who ends up at Oklahoma State, followed his coach. Nebraska wasn't getting Sam Levitt this go around, even though they might have had a shot at him a couple of years ago in the Kyle McCord, Dylan Raiola commitment, right? Seemed like Indiana was pretty locked in on Josh Hoover. Nebraska probably wasn't getting him, even if they liked him. Nebraska wasn't getting Byron Brown, linked to his head coach, Alex Golis from South Florida.
Yeah, that was a package deal.
Right. Nebraska wasn't getting Rocco Beck, again, package deal, following Matt Campbell from Ames to Happy Valley. Nebraska wasn't getting Austin Simmons. He's going to stay in the SEC, it seemed like, which makes a lot of sense. Nebraska, then the other guys in that neighborhood, Kenny Minchie, who Nebraska wanted, didn't land, flipped, whatever, and Colton Joseph, who's at 36, just a couple spots then ahead of Anthony Calandria. So when you look at the guys that rate out ahead of him, there's only, a half dozen transfers, essentially. Most of them already had a built-in excuse or reason for why they were going where they did. And even the guys that would rate in the same neighborhood as Calandria, it's a rounding error. They're in the same tier for a reason. There might have been some level of interest, but Nebraska landed a guy that's, certainly more proven than Minchie, probably at least as proven and more accomplished than Colton Joseph. And if you're telling me there's 5 spots, between these 3 guys, I don't know. I think you did about as well as you could have.
For where Nebraska was in the situation, and Minchie kind of committing and then, pulling the Josh McDaniels. Literally that was Josh McDaniels. Yeah, I'm going to be the coach, and it goes out and that's why I think Coach Rule felt pretty confident, when I think he made a couple statements, because I think that they had a commitment from him maybe as early as the bowl game. And so, you think you got it handled, and, things change. And you probably wish you could have approached Calandra when you were down at the bowl game because maybe he was still in town from being on UNLV.
True.
And then next thing you know, you find a guy that can, provide some spark to your offense, and then also had a really good year. And also the best part for them is that they're able to add a element to an offense that you can't create yourself. That's the off schedule stuff. That's the ability to extend plays and ability, obviously, to hurt defenses by getting first downs with your legs. So it gives you an aspect of offense that you never really had here for quite some time with a legitimate passer. We've always in the past had really good running quarterbacks, so passing quarterbacks. He can play the position as long as it's plays in the blocking schemes are set up for his skill set.
Yeah, and again, I think that's a big piece of things. Like we've heard Matt Rule talk about that. The question then, of course, becomes the backup situation, I think, Jay, with the way that Calandria runs. Not the biggest guy. Do you think we see TJ Lateef in legitimate game action twice this year? 3 times? 4 times? How often would you expect to see TJ Lateef? We know we'll battle with Calandria.
And obviously, we ideally be able to be in there in the second half, for the rest of the half against non-con.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure they'll probably try to sprinkle Daniel Kalen in there, but we're talking about TJ Lateef. And then you'd like for TJ Lateef to be able to get in a couple other games too, based on us being, in a really, really good position to win the game. So, quarterback's the hardest position to play or hardest position to secure in college because every year, quote unquote, new arm talent comes in. The next 5-star potentially is out there, or a guy that you look at as a 5-star, even though nationally he might be ranked as a 3. He's still very, very important to your program. And so when you're like a TJ Lateef or Daniel Kalen, both of them were in the Elite 11 just 2 years ago, and now they're battling for the backup job. And so there's only one backup and there's only one starter, but realistically, there's only one football, and one guy is only going to get the majority of the reps. So you have to make sure your mind is right, and every day is still a work day. It's called work while you wait. And so they got to, they really got to do that not only for their immediate future, which is this year, but then obviously your future, moving forward.
Is Nebraska in a position where you think it could name co-backups based on the situation, or is Nebraska best served by naming the guys in order? 1, 2, 3.
Their best is to leave it. Well, I don't know the dynamics of the room. Just, what? Whoever's number 2 is number 2. I was gonna say do co-backups, but that don't make no sense. No, because you're not playing no way. What do you want to be, the first reserve? We're both sitting over here in the hot dog.
Right.
We're both over here chilling, looking at the cheerleaders or something. We're playing. We're a quarterback. We're a quarterback like therapists also. So we're both over here. I don't think it does anybody any good.
I'm with you. I just think about, back, the Ron Kellogg, Hail Mary walk-off, right? Was he the starter? Was he the backup? I mean, turned into the backup, but even Cody Green, right? Was in there situationally, late in the Big 12 era for Nebraska. I think Nebraska would be best served by just picking one. Hey, you're the backup. If, Calandria goes down, if we want a different look, we're going this way. And we've had the discussion from time to time. Is it good to have, redundancy? To be able to not have to change up the playbook too much when your backup comes in, or is it good to have a change of pace? Throw the opposing defense off as long as you think your offense can handle it. I think that Nebraska, might have the best of both worlds there in that. But I hope that Nebraska does just let those guys compete and then comes away with a true number 2. I think that role clarity, that role definition, I think that goes a long way for guys.
Yeah. I mean, I think it does provide some quiet confidence as well. So when you're showing up, you're not kind of in no man's land. And obviously, the more that and with clarity, I always talk about, re-recruiting your roster. That's part of it too. Providing a role definition that has 100% crystal clear, both input and result. If you do this, you'll get this. And I think it also will help you, retain your roster. I think one of the biggest things is that you could have lack of communication. Between, sometimes coach and players want to know where they stand. Got a lot of people probably in their ear in their life trying to, make decisions for them or help them. And so for these players, they want to have as much confidence that they're going to get communicated with because it allows them to communicate effectively to the people that are supposedly advising them. And then obviously, eventually, they hopefully will stay.
For sure. Let's go to break. When we get back, we'll keep the Nebraska football conversation going. Which would have a bigger impact on the 2026 season, a win over a top 25 team, or a first-round NFL draft pick. He's Jay Foreman. I'm Austin Norman. We'll have that Nebraska football conversation and plenty more as we continue Old School.
Hey, Husker Nation. This is Todd Euler, two-time national champion with Window World Lincoln. Are you ready to transform your home? We offer exceptional replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing that will elevate your home's curb appeal and value. As a nationally known, locally owned business, we treat you like family and work tirelessly to deliver the best for less. Don't wait to give your home the upgrade it deserves. Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or check out windowworldlincoln.com. Let's make your home the talk of the neighborhood.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy, so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Right now, lease a 2026 Ford F-150 for $198 per month for 36 months. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1008623, $198 per month lease for 36 months with approved credit, 7,500 miles per year, 14,000 to signing. No security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 7/6/26.
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sauterheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
If you become ill or injured at work and need an experienced attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court, protect your rights and freedom to get you the best possible results for your case and the justice you deserve. Trust your rights and freedom to Liberty Law Group. Attorneys serving Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Hi, Kendall Warnock here, owner of A1 Automotive. If you own a BMW, Audi, Volkswagen, or Mini, specialized service matters. Our team uses advanced diagnostic equipment, OE equipment, including factory-level software, to accurately diagnose and repair your vehicle. Dealer-level capabilities with hometown service. A1 Automotive, 1117 L Street. You can call us 402-477-4660.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier, furry friends.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they're committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perchmerch.com.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket.
That's right, back in full effect on the radio dial. Big thanks to Graham Tire Company for their sponsorship of the show. Austin Orman, Jay Foreman with you, reminding you that Graham Tire is celebrating their 75th anniversary. They're saying thank you by giving you a $75 instant rebate on a set of 4 select tires during their anniversary sale event. You can stack even more savings with big mail-in rebates on select tires from Goodyear and Cooper, as long as you're using your Goodyear credit card. And remember, all tires, yes, all tires are on sale right now, making this the perfect time to upgrade for your summer travels. Hurry in today to Graham Tire, your tire store next door. Jay, the question, which would have a bigger impact on Nebraska football's 2026 season? A win over a top 25 team or a first-round NFL draft pick?
What would have a bigger impact on the season?
Yes.
Oh, they got a top 25. Because we haven't beat a top 25 team since when?
Since Oregon came to town back in 2016.
Or was it Mike Riley?
Yeah, it was Mike Riley era. Yeah. Started that 2016 season.
Because what year was Michigan State? That was the same year, right?
That was the year before.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was early November of 2015, and Oregon was September of 2016.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would say top 25 because I think that at least puts a little bit of pause to all the stuff around it. Means you're winning a game. It's a team game. You can have a really good team and not have any first-round picks. I think, all first-round picks aren't created equal. Now, it's always great to have them because then that's sellable to all the kids you're recruiting. But also is that, we beat, ideally, top 25 is great. Beating the top 15, top 10 team would have a huge impact. You know what I'm saying? I have a feeling around here with some of the fan base and media people that even if you won a top 25 game, they'll try to dummy it down too. So if you beat a top 25 team, just playing devil's advocate here, in October and say they tank. Let's say they beat Penn State early in the year. Say we played Penn State game 4, beat Penn State. Bottom falls out. Well, they fired their coach, so it didn't mean anything. Having a first-round pick is great. You need athletes. I mean, I get it. You need all conference players. You need first-round picks. They go hand in hand a lot. Obviously, first-round picks are definitely a lot of potential. But I'm here to burst some guys' bubble. You're not going to have guys on the first team all conference if your team's crappy, not winning, period. You're going to have more average players on first and second teams based on their team winning. So my answer to every single one of those things, besides obviously I answered the question, just go win games and it all happen.
Take care of itself.
It'll take care of itself. You'll have first round picks in this program that can bust a grape. You'll have fifth round or sixth round or seventh round picks that end up playing a long time. What it is. But you'll have a pool of talent. You'll have good football players. I mean, we talked about Spain in the World Cup. They don't have anybody playing for what was it, AC Milan or whatever it is, that the big, I think that might be the biggest club in the Euro League.
Well, AC Milan, that's an Italian team.
You
have Barcelona, you have Real Madrid.
Yeah, Real Madrid. That's what it was. I think they were saying they don't have anybody on Real that's on the Spain, but everybody's, that lets you know the level of talent in the country of Spain. So what I'm saying is you could have multiple guys on second, third team, even a couple on first and maybe honorable mention, and they don't get drafted in the first round, but you're out there, kicking butt, So I think winning solves every single problem this program's having football-wise.
Bill and Bennett says, how about just getting wins in November? That'd be another good step in the right direction.
That'd be great. Yeah, how about do it all at once? Because, with this schedule, normally, based on who they're playing, You win 2 or 3 games in November, you beat a top 25 team.
Illinois will probably be fringy at that point. Ohio
Yeah.
State's going to be Ohio State. And
If
Iowa's gonna
Illinois
be
is
Iowa.
what I expected them to do this year and bounce back, right? Altmaier is going to be hard to replace, but I think they have enough pieces around it to be decent.
Let's do the schedule thing. UAB. Trent Dill for you.
For who?
Illinois.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like Nebraska ain't playing UAB.
No. Illinois schedule.
Dub sack.
Okay. Host Duke.
Another dub sack. That's gonna be a good game though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually kind of excited to watch that game.
Manny Diaz has returned to the Big Ten.
Yeah, and Manny Diaz
Yeah.
got a little quiet storm over there too. So yeah. So I'll give Illinois the benefit of the doubt.
Okay. Host Southern Illinois.
Dub.
Travel to Ohio State.
L.
Host Purdue.
Dub.
Travel to Michigan State.
That's middle October.
Yes, October 10th.
W.
Okay. Bye week, then at
They win the bye week too.
Okay, they win the bye. Okay.
Not just play.
Win the bye week and then host Oregon.
L.
Travel to Maryland on Halloween.
October 31st. Moxley still around. Maryland. That's just a game. That just seems like a game Brett Bielema will win.
So
I'm gonna let him win that game.
So you have Illinois at 6-2 entering the Nebraska game.
Mm-hmm.
Borderline top 25, most likely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then they take an L against Nebraska.
Travel to UCLA.
W.
Host Iowa.
Let's just say L.
Okay, and then travel to Northwestern.
W.
9-3.
8-9 wins. There you go.
Okay.
They in there.
Mm-hmm. And you beat Bielema.
Beat
if you're
Bielema.
Nebraska. Okay.
We beat them again at their crib.
Mm-hmm.
Even though their AD just got paid. Got to hit him up for a couple steaks.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Rutgers will probably not be top 25, I would guess.
no. When we play them, no.
Yeah, no.
They won't be top 25 anyway, but no, not when we play them.
Ohio State,
Yes.
probably top 5
Yeah, for
at this
sure.
point. And then Iowa, let's do the Iowa football schedule thing. Give me just a moment to.
You
to
just
pull it up
mark them down for 7, 8, 9 wins a year.
here. Okay, so Iowa has Northern Illinois at the crib.
Hold on, before you get in that, are you gonna only not count Washington in there? I know it's October 31st, but I mean, are you serious? 24 hours is not going to take you.
Well, Bill brought up November, and you talked about getting them both done at once.
All right.
So
All right.
I was just taking the question
I
as
got you.
presented. But yes, Washington, I think, is in that same realm.
Because that's a huge game too. Yeah,
Halloween, chance to atone for the way last year's blackout game went.
And
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
But
I know.
let's look at Iowa.
I
here.
know you'll be talking to Major Juncture Boy Jed all week, so he won't be right when he comes.
Yeah, well, man, Scotty Graham's the running back coach. They got it. Yeah.
Mental warfare, sharpen
and
those
they're
swords.
they're coming to the crib too.
I know
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Danger
Oh,
zone.
yeah.
Danger zone. All right. Iowa schedule. Host Northern Illinois.
W.
Host Iowa State.
W.
Host Northern Iowa.
W.
Travel to Michigan.
That's a 50-50 game. I'll give Michigan L.
So they are 3-1. Okay. Host Ohio State.
That's an L. Dang, they play both of them back to back.
Back-to-back weeks.
Dang. Yeah, they're 3-2.
Then short week. Travel to Washington on a Friday.
Dang.
That's
L.
3-3. Then they have 15 days off with the bye week from a Friday into a bye week till they travel to Minnesota.
Yeah. That's an Iowa win. They're gonna beat Wisconsin. They're
4
gonna
and 3,
beat
5 and
Northwestern.
3, 6 and 3.
They're gonna beat Purdue.
7 and 3.
They're gonna mess around, probably beat Iowa or Illinois.
8 and 3.
Just like that. I'm telling you, it's gonna look like they're in the depths of hell. And then that's when they do their best work. They're gonna bring their 8th quarterback off the bench.
Their 17th string
Man, you remember when
quarterback
they
right out of the student section.
Remember when they had Jared Lorenz in part 2
Oh,
play
yeah.
the quarterback?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
They ain't changing. Yeah,
Nope.
I know they lost LeVar Woods. I know that.
Mhm.
And they lost a few guys on defense. Listen, they will be back in effect. I'm telling you right now.
Mhm.
And they got Tom Moore up there. They're going to find a way to score more points.
Like that Tom Moore. That still blows my mind that he's
In
coaching
Iowa
college
City.
in Iowa City.
He got to be living with Kurt Ferentz. They got
I mean,
they
come
got to
on.
have a long history where they like, hey man, you remember that time I got you out of trouble right when we were GAs, and without
Mhm.
me you wouldn't be where you at right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you said you were retiring. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
come up to Iowa City of all places from Tampa to go to Iowa City.
Tom Moore has one of the all-time legendary NFL quotes regarding number 18 in blue and white.
Yeah.
You know the one I'm referring to?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
We'll leave people to their own devices to look that one up. But I'm gonna argue the other side of things here.
1, 2, 3.
I think having a first-round NFL draft pick would honestly be the bigger deal.
You do?
Because, like you said, to be a first-round draft pick, you got to do some winning, and you need the people around you, right?
And you have to develop them at some point.
Develop them at some point. I also think that if you're a first-round NFL draft pick, you've probably got at least 10 games of legit production, maybe a couple quiet, depending on matchup and score and whatnot. I also think that it's the truest version of the draft in the NFL where you're just drafting the best players, right? In the NBA, late in the first round, you can draft and stash, right? You can take a flyer on a guy. You got maybe 10 legitimate prospects any given year, and then it's all fit and situation and whatnot. But you're not always expected to contribute if you're a back half of the first round pick. If you're a back half of the first round pick in the NFL, you're still making the roster and you're still playing a role in a lot of cases. And so I think for Nebraska to have a player that would step in and be expected to contribute day one on an NFL team, they would have to show that throughout the course of the college season. You're not as much getting taken on potential as you are in the NBA in some cases, especially high. And there's no weird signing bonuses like in baseball where you can go under slot or over slot to get them. And so I think if you're an NFL first round draft pick, you've earned that. And I think that Nebraska having a dude that it can rely on at some position, whether it's offensive tackle, maybe it's edge rusher, maybe it's in the defensive backfield, I don't know. But if you tell me that, let's say Andrew Marshall develops into a first round pick over there at corner, having his best ball hawking season, that goes a long way. Tell me Williams Nwaneri, as a draft eligible guy, has a type of season that lives up to his high school pedigree, and he's got double-digit sacks in the Big Ten against this schedule, probably, a sack or so against any combination of Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana, Iowa, etc. That goes a long way. If you're telling me Elijah Pritchett delivers on the promise, that goes a long way. If you're telling me Isaiah Hunter is a true number one and plays his way into that conversation, he's, second team all Big Ten. I think that goes a long way for Nebraska and would not be without, contributions up and down the roster anyways. So I think that the top 25 win would probably mean more as a potential spark for the program long term. But I think a first round NFL draft pick means essentially 12 games of production all the way through.
Yeah. I mean, they're both would be great feats. But I mean, I also think who depends on who or what position or who it is too. Sometimes, like say if Hunter ends up going first round, but he had like 600 yards, but he runs a great 40 versus say like Pritchett or Evans or Black or somebody like that is just destroying people. It's a lot different. But they're both going to get paid, which obviously I want them all to do. But I think when you're talking about bigger deal, I think you want to have, and also I think if you have a first round, say it's Williams Nwaneri or Pritchett, right? Let's say those two, because they're both both are potential boom or bust guys, right? Those are the first two guys I'm getting off the bus every single game. Shades on, but doesn't matter if it's a night game, wearing the shade, both of them. So if it's one of those two, and I'll piggyback off of you with you there on this too. If it's one of those two, or an offense or defensive lineman, that actually makes you more legit because you said we're trying to build through the lines. So in theory, it levels you up recruiting wise. Now, example, I think Price Sanford getting busy last year. Sure, Frager did, but it's more Price Sanford. From game one to game however much is Price. I think that opens the door when Fred was getting a couple 5-stars on campus and has one coming this year for a visit.
Yep, Dawson Batty coming back.
That's my opinion. I just think because it's generally when you look at the body types and generally skill sets, you're going to see that, right? So okay, I can see it versus remember, up until Fred got here, wasn't a lot of guys going to the NBA. He hadn't really had success of developing guys there. You had guys here and there, but when Fred came, he had a plan where it's Banton and all these other guys are finding roles, and all of them are still playing in the NBA in some form or fashion. then you see a lot more, different body types and players coming on campus. Same thing right here. You're talking about, say Pritchett. I know he's from, Georgia. Obviously right where Farley's from. And you try to go and recruit there. Now, granted, Jeep Wade's done a good job down there already. But when you're really trying to get in that footprint and really, knock down some SEC walls that's been there for years, you talk about Elijah Pritchett. Everybody knows who he is back home.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's a first-round pick, and all the coaches know. This is the coach, and this is the program that developed Elijah Pritchett into a first-round pick. Not Alabama, Nebraska. That allows you to go get other stuff. Williams Nwaneri, I think he's from the Kansas City area. The Kansas City area on the sneak, to be honest with you, has produced hellified defensive ends.
Mm-hmm.
All those Missouri guys, I think, are generally from the Kansas City, like Ray and obviously Williams Nwaneri. So if he's one, that kind of puts you up in that list even higher.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's your watering hole. So you're talking about that 300 to 400 mile radius that fits the script. So yeah, a lot is on the line. Whether being the top 25, 20 team, and obviously your first round pick.
We'll go to break when we get back. Some of the best quotes from another day at SEC Media Days. John Summerall with some interesting stuff to say. Pete Golding as well. Florida and Ole Miss head coaches, respectively. That's Jay Foreman. I'm Austin Norman. We'll be back to wrap up hour 1 of the show right after this.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Looking for the right utility tractor for your acreage? Find it at Landmark Implement. Shop our selection of used John Deere compact tractors from 1 through 5 series with the power and versatility to track mowing, yard work, snow removal, and more. For a limited time, get 2.9% financing for 36 months, followed by 6.2% for 24 months with approved credit. We've got the right fit for your property and your budget. Stop by your local Landmark Implement or visit us online at landmarkimp.com today and experience the Landmark difference.
Graham Tire Company is celebrating 75 years of serving our neighbors throughout the Midwest. And to say thank you, we're giving you $75 in instant rebate on a set of 4 select tires during our anniversary sale event. You can stack on even more savings with big mail-in rebates on select tires from Goodyear and Cooper when you use your Goodyear credit card. And remember, all tires are on sale right now, making this a perfect time to upgrade for summer travels. Hurry in today. Graham Tire, your tire store next door.
At Planet Fitness, your pace is as personal as your playlist. That's why right now, you can get up to 3 free months of Apple Music when you join for just $1 down. With best-in-class equipment, free fitness training, and a judgment-free environment, we have everything you need to go your speed. Join Planet Fitness for $1 down and get up to 3 free months of Apple Music. No commitment. Deal ends July 31st. Additional fees and restrictions apply. See Home Club for details.
Hi, it's Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC in Louisville. Koppel is proud to be the highest rated GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln areas based on Google reviews. Right now, get 0% financing for 60 months on new Silverado and Sierra 1500 models. But hurry, the 0% financing offer won't last long. Visit us in Louisville or check us out online at koppelcars.com.
Are you looking for a fresh new hangout spot? Let me tell you about Liquid Assets Sports Bar, where Mondays mean new weekly drink and food features. With 23 taps, a full lineup of cans and bottles, and 40 TVs blasting every sports package out there, you'll never worry about missing a play. Savor high-end spirits at their stylish back shelf bar, enjoy a healthy, family-friendly menu, and catch all your favorite teams every day. Doors open daily at 11 a.m. Liquid Assets located on 2755 Jamie Lane in South Lincoln.
Play ball! Some places just feel like home. In Lincoln, that place is Haymarket Park. For 25 seasons, it's where we gather with friends, with family, and our out-of-towners who want that same warm welcome. It's where kids catch their first foul ball, where we're all neighbors for at least 9 innings. Because when Salt Dogs fans root for our home team, there isn't a single stranger in the stands. So come one, come all, and let your local tradition play on. Get your tickets at saltdogs.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contract Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197. Assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at SauterHeyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Greens Furnace and Plumbing has been servicing the southeast Nebraska area since 1921, specializing in HVAC systems, bathroom remodels, duct cleaning, backflow testing, and so much more. With a network of trained technicians ready to assist you, Greens Furnace and Plumbing is your source for dedicated commercial HVAC services for your business, building, or even your home so it can run without unwanted interruption. Learn more by visiting their website at callgreens.com or give them a call at 402-467-4444 today.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket.
We're wrapping up hour one of Old School, brought to you as always by the good folks at Heartland of Nebraska Windows. They're based out of Hallam, Nebraska, and they offer free estimates, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty on everything while keeping their prices affordable. Going to be a little rainy this week, and if you notice some condensation and some precipitation sneaking in through the cracks in your windows, give the good folks at Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call, 402-430-3852. You can also visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. SEC Media Days rolls on. You've probably been hearing the promos, or you will shortly. Sending a crew of people out to Big Ten at Media Days next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But, Jay, we've heard a lot of different statements on the SEC's 9-game schedule. John Sumrall says, I'm not going to whine and complain about being an SEC head football coach when he was asked about the challenge of playing a 9-game schedule. Good on you, John Sumrall.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's had to get it out of the mud, per se, at Tulane, and has done a lot more with less, at Tulane, and made them, a powerhouse, in their own right. And so he's at Florida. He appreciates his job. He understands it's a hard job. He understands that there's a challenge in front of him, and I like it that, look, I like that in a leader. I like that. Look, I'm not complaining about anything. I'm just going to go out there and do it.
Speaking of Tulane and Lane, we'll tie those two in together. Sumrall also said, Lane Kiffin and I are friends. We talked several times through the process of October and November about what it was looking like for both of our schedules, for how things were going to unfold. Lane and I talked as we were going through. He was like, you and I are going through the same thing in November. I said, no, Lane, we're not. If you leave, you're leaving an SEC school to go to another SEC school. It's a little different.
Yeah.
I'm leaving Tulane, but it was challenging to do it. I wouldn't have done it any other way. I may have on the front end of taking this job, maybe not been at my best every second for Florida because I wanted to make sure I left Tulane the right way. If any university told me I couldn't coach in the playoff game, I don't think I would have taken the job just because I couldn't leave the team I had coached all year.
That's commendable. But when you go home and you're at the dinner table, looking at your wife and kids, and if you turn down the Florida job and probably about 40, 50 million, you're going to be thinking about reason. But I understand what he's saying, and I think most teams now will respect it with so many teams with the ability to get into it.
Mm-hmm. The other one regarding Lane Kiffin, this one came from Pete Golding, who said he's on actually pretty good terms with Lane Kiffin and is in fact staying in an old house that Lane Kiffin used to live in down there in Oxford. But he was asked, what was his pitch to keep Trinidad Chambliss and Kawan Lacey out of the transfer portal? Obviously, Chambliss needed the extra year waiver, which was granted.
Almost helped them with that, too.
Absolutely. And then Lacey's maybe the best running back in college football this year. But Golding's answer to what his pitch was to keep those guys out of the portal, I said, Google Lane Kiffin, the dude that they would have built a statue of here 3 days ago. Google his name right now. they wouldn't pee on him if he's on fire. And so they're going to do the same thing to y'all too if you do that. That's direct.
Yeah, that's about as real as you can keep it. And Pete Golden, he's he got the gift of gab too. So I understand it. I mean, he's quick on his feet and quick witted, and he falls right in line with Lane Kiffin.
The reason they work so well together.
That too. They did a lot of things together. They ran through Tuscaloosa and everywhere else they've been at together. But good on him, and it's good for him that Ole Miss wanted him, and obviously he has the support of the administration and the players. The players really like him, and like I said, I know one of their big time boosters. They love him. They're really excited that they were able to keep some guys on that staff too. So they should be pretty good.
And with quotes like that, how couldn't you love the guy? Among other reasons.
Well,
leading to the Final Four is a pretty good idea
too. If you want to have if you want to have credibility there and have people rally behind you, right? Look, that game against LSU when Lane was like, "Let's spot the ball." Listen, if he thought Tennessee was throwing golf balls at him, you getting baseballs at you down there when you play Ole Miss. So Golden knows that he has to draw the line, and he's he's doing it very tactfully right now. But ultimately, he knows where his bread is buttered.
That he does. We'll go to break when we get back. Dr. Finn of Advanced Medical Imaging is in with a special guest. We'll do that to lead off the 4 o'clock hour and have a recruiting update from Brian Munson at 4:30, doing some reshuffling of the lineup this week with availability. So no Evan Blaine at 4:30. It'll be Brian Munson of Husker Online with us. But first, Dr. Finn of Advanced Medical Imaging and a special guest leading off the 4 p.m. hour of Old School.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Looking for the right utility tractor for your acreage? Find it at Landmark Implement. Shop our selection of used John Deere compact tractors from 1 through 5 series with the power and versatility to track mowing, yard work, snow removal, and more. For a limited time, get 2.9% financing for 36 months, followed by 6.2 for 24 months with approved credit. We've got the right fit for your property and your budget. Stop by your local Landmark Implement or visit us online at landmarkimp.com today and experience the Landmark difference.
Building a new home can be a challenge, a lot of big choices. With our Remington homes, we have designed 15 different floor plans that appeal to a wide range of people.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, talking about Remington Homes, which makes the home building process easier.
People really enjoy being able to go to our website, which is remingtonlincoln.com, pick a plan, pick a price point, go through and build it yourself. You have a lot of options, whether you want granite, painted trim, wood floors, more stone, all options with our Remington homes. People do not want to be married to their house payment. You're able to get what you really want in a home for a great price with very limited stress. And that's what Remington homes are all about.
Home building is easier with a Remington home from Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at remingtonlincoln.com. remingtonlincoln.com.
Graham Tire Company is celebrating 75 years of serving our neighbors throughout the Midwest. And to say thank you, we're giving you $75 in instant rebate on a set of 4 select tires during our anniversary sale event. You can stack on even more savings with big mail-in rebates on select tires from Goodyear and Cooper when you use your Goodyear credit card. And remember, all tires are on sale right now, making this a perfect time to upgrade for summer travels. Hurry in today. Graham Tire, your tire store next door.
At Planet Fitness, your pace is as personal as your playlist. That's why right now, you can get up to 3 free months of Apple Music when you join for just $1 down. With best-in-class equipment, free fitness training, and a judgment-free environment, we have everything you need to go your speed. Join Planet Fitness for $1 down and get up to 3 free months of Apple Music. No commitment. Deal ends July 31st. Additional fees and restrictions apply. See Home Club for details.
Hi, it's Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC in Louisville. Koppel is proud to be the highest rated GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln areas based on Google reviews. Right now, get 0% financing for 60 months on new Silverado and Sierra 1500 models. But hurry, the 0% financing offer won't last long. Visit us in Louisville or check us out online at koppelcars.com.
Are you looking for a fresh new hangout spot? Let me tell you about Liquid Assets Sports Bar, where Mondays mean new weekly drink and food features. With 23 taps, a full lineup of cans and bottles, and 40 TVs blasting every sports package out there, you'll never worry about missing a play. Savor high-end spirits at their stylish back shelf bar, enjoy a healthy, family-friendly menu, and catch all your favorite teams every day. Doors open daily at 11 a.m. Liquid Assets located on 2755 Jamie Lane in South Lincoln.
Play ball! Some places just feel like home. In Lincoln, that place is Haymarket Park. For 25 seasons, it's where we gather with friends, with family, and our out-of-towners who want that same warm welcome. It's where kids catch their first foul ball, where we're all neighbors for at least 9 innings. Because when Salt Dogs fans root for our home team, there isn't a single stranger in the stands. So come one, come all, and let your local tradition play on. Get your tickets at saltdogs.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln. This is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Troy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln. Your tire store next door with 4 Lincoln locations. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School, live in effect, 1040 O Street. We mentioned before the 4 o'clock hour, we got our special guest from AMI, Mr. Dan, Dr. Dan Finn. I shouldn't say Mr. Dan Finn. Also, it's always a special day. I always like when AMI comes in, Dr. Finn comes in, but he also brought in a special guest, and I'll let you introduce your special guest, Dan.
Yeah, I brought a friend of mine. His name is Nate Moreau, and he's the local bare knuckle Dynasty Combat Sports champion. Yeah.
Welcome, Nate. Obviously, having much success in bare knuckle. I wanted to ask you, what got you into bare knuckle specifically?
Well, everybody always kind of asks me that, and like they look at me crazy for doing it. No gloves. I guess I'm not opposed to doing it. I always tell people, like, I have a wife, I have a mother, I have people I'm willing to defend outside of competition. Right. Bare knuckle. So why not get paid and not get in trouble for doing it too?
Right.
Yeah. It's a pride thing. I like to test myself against great competition, but at the end of the day, it's just a fight.
Right. And I wanted to ask you also, like, since it's bare knuckle, take us through it. Now, is it truly bare knuckle? Is it tape, or is it special tape? How does it work?
So all we have is we get wrist support up to about mid hand, and then a lot of thumb support. Yeah. And it's just like the classic, like, boxer wraps after a fight. Yeah. Only it's not the top half.
Okay.
Just that about 2 inches is what it's supposed to be of just knuckle.
So essentially, like, for me, that's how I used to tape my hands up when I played football, right?
Yeah.
I had a couple
Actually,
busted.
So how like linemen and people kind of tape. Yes. Yeah.
So
just like that.
Some guys wore gloves, and it's all the same. You never taped over. I guess I call it the forehand. So that's pretty cool. I wanted to ask you a few more questions in, like, obviously being a bare knuckle fighter versus, say, like with gloves, how does it change your training, and how you because I'm sure you have to be more defense oriented, because obviously you don't have the gloves on, or how does that work?
To an extent, I guess, like, yeah, you have to be a lot more defensively savvy. You got to be ready to parry your punches,
Right.
head movement, stuff like that. But really traditional boxing defenses, like the blocking here, blocking
Right.
here, your knuckles are small enough to slip through there. So
Yeah.
it is a lot more head movement, playing the range, kind of playing that game. But a lot of the guys just don't care about the defense, and they just try and take you out
Yeah.
first.
And so I know you probably do film study. So when you're scouting an opponent, how long does it take you to get a beat on him? Your game plan.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to ask you a follow-up question to that. Do you always go in there with a plan B
So
or an adjustment? I think.
I'll just in regards to game planning and stuff, yeah, there's a certain extent of, okay, he likes to stay on the outside. Okay, he's more aggressive. He wants to really try and take it to me, that you plan for. But it's to kind of answer both at once. Mike Tyson always said everybody has a plan until they get
You
punched in the face.
Yep.
That's just my plan A, B, and C. Is I'm probably going to get punched, and
Yeah.
just how can I win each and other interaction? How can I do more to beat him up before I get beat up?
Yeah. And how many rounds is it? How many rounds?
It's 5 2-minute rounds.
Yeah. Oof. One thing I'm going to tell you though, for me, I later in my football career in the NFL, we started to like do boxing, for like cardio. 2 minutes is long.
You don't think about it.
You don't think it's long. It's long, but being in there fighting, and obviously with the intensity, depending on the action of the fight, 5 2-minute rounds. It's more than a workout, man. That's going to test your manhood.
Did you ever wrestle?
No. I had friends that wrestled.
That's
Yeah.
the test of the manhood, brother. It's just all gas, no breaks, bull rushing. In the fighting, I have those opportunities where I can back away. and
Yeah.
breathe. I know I'm not. I say red light, yellow light, green light. Red light, okay, I need to be ready to go.
Right.
Yellow light, I might need to wear something. But when I'm way out on the outside dancing,
Right.
I can breathe. I
Right.
can relax, and I'm not in danger.
Has it been all boxing all the time for you, or are you a multi-sport guy?
I started training MMA at 14, had my first MMA fight at 15. It had been mostly MMA all my life until I turned pro at 22, which I turned pro in boxing. And then I just took up bare knuckle in 2024, but I've done professional kickboxing, regular boxing, MMA, bare knuckle. I just love fighting people.
So how does all those different, styles of combat sports helped you be a better because you're ending now at bare knuckle, right? So how has MMA, obviously regular boxing, kickboxing, allowed you to be the best that you could be at bare knuckle?
It's a lot of the bare knuckle fighters come from the world of MMA, and I'm not necessarily done with MMA. I'm still a active champion in it.
Yeah.
Obviously, I just am easy to talk into any kind of fight. But a lot of the MMA fighters are the ones transitioning to boxing. There's not a lot of traditional boxers who've had hundreds of amateur fights and stuff like that. They're pretty well just still ingrained into boxing.
Right.
So in all reality, I am fighting a lot of MMA guys who are only
Right.
throwing hands now.
Right.
So there is a lot of technical deficits.
Jay, I think you found another can man.
Yeah, he
Who's
definitely.
that?
Yeah,
What's a can man, Jay?
Anybody can get it.
Hey, yes, sir.
Yeah, that definitely is definitely itching for the scratch there for the scrap, which is great, man. I mean, I think I want to also ask you. Obviously, we were talking that you grew up WWF, WWE, whatever you want to call it, and the walkout is great, right? And obviously, when you play football, for me. When you're walking into the
Mhm.
arena, there and only if you've done it, you understand what I'm talking about. Like as you get closer, for me, as you get closer to the field, it starts to get quiet. How is your walkout? As you get ready to go to the ring.
It's obviously there's the butterflies before the music. Once the music goes on, although there's a lot of people cheering and stuff
Yeah.
like that, it feels like I have headphones on.
Right.
It feels like I got that I always pick the right walkout song that I know I'm going to get pumped to. Everybody else is going to love too. But I really just start to get lost in that.
Right.
And then once I step foot in that ring, it's all quiet.
Yeah.
It's just me and him. It's all quiet.
Yeah, I always tell people when I used to be in Memorial Stadium, it's obviously 80, 100,000 people, whatever. It really, for me, when the play's going on, it's like complete silence. But then when you make a good play, then it comes back on. Is that the same thing for you when you're in the ring? So for your trainer or trainers, what's it like when you're looking at your opponent, right? So that's where your hyper focus is, obviously, right? I mean, but then you're hearing
their instructions.
And so is it just based on because you know their voices, but then there's also people, however many people are cheering as well.
I'm the oldest of 9 kids. My mom told me I have selective hearing. So I do a pretty good job at not listening to the big noise out here, but my coaches treat me almost like a video game controller, like they're playing UFC. I hear what they're saying. They have looks that I'm not seeing or thinking about. And I hear we have, oh, throw the 1-2. Oh, he's dropping his hand here. I can hear that clear as day. Everything else is not important.
That's awesome.
Important. I like my fans. They're important.
Sure.
But like,
yeah,
my health is first
Right,
right now.
right.
So you said oldest of 9?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I assume you weren't starting most of the fights. Your younger siblings are starting most of the fights with you.
I was a WWE fan, so they were my practice dummies.
There you go. Which sibling had the best chance against you? None of them, obviously.
None of them. I was 7 by the time the first one came. So
you're
light work.
Done.
Light
Yeah,
work.
you're a big brother, right? Yeah, it's,
Bunch of punching bags.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, thinking about you and obviously with bare knuckles, and I always talk about when you hit somebody in football, I call it strike. There's a difference. A hit is like when I hit you and we kind of tackle, right? Some are harder than others. So the analogy would be kind of maybe like a body blow or something like that, right? You're kind of still up. It hurts like no other. But when you strike somebody, or when I used to strike somebody, you should strike through them. That's like a couple guys I knocked out cold. What's it like for you when you put somebody to sleep?
Me and Dr. Dan were talking about this a little bit. Unfortunately, like I said, I was too small for football.
Yeah.
I also seem to be too small to really just one punch put someone to sleep.
Yeah.
A lot of my fights are me just really beating you up a lot more than you can beat me up.
Yeah.
A lot of broken noses, a lot of swollen eyes, stuff like that. Yeah, I just the Lord didn't bless me with knockout power, so I just got to hit you a bunch.
So, Dr. Finn, what actually does happen then when someone gets put to sleep? Like medically, what's going on? You get knocked out, like with a punch. What's going on?
On the chin.
Yeah.
Explain when you see it, like
an uppercut,
or like whatever, a hook or whatever.
Yeah, the brain, and there's a part of the central brain on the brain stem called the reticular activating system, which I think we talked about a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But when your head gets hit hard enough for that to get bumped, that's what puts you to sleep. That is literally the spot on the brain that keeps you awake. Like it activates in the morning when you get out of bed, and when you go to sleep, it deactivates. But you can also deactivate it with a shot, and that's why it's more common. Knockout blows usually come from the side, because that motion allows your neck to move in such a way that it has like a shear force on your brainstem. It's brutal stuff.
Am I wrong? And I heard like it's a whiplash effect, and it's actually like the brain rattling on the skull that strikes that nerve and makes it. Am I right? Or?
Yeah, we call that coup and contra coup, and that's all that is. You get hit, it hits the front and the back from the skull. Yep. But there's another way you can quote go to sleep, and I think the last UFC fight there was a good the Paddy Hamilton. He put someone to sleep hard, and that's from blocking the blood flow to your brain with a chokehold or something. Literally, your brain is not getting enough oxygen for it to work, and it turns off. And
scary.
Yeah, gone long enough, it can be permanent. But that's why the refs are so
important.
Yeah, in calling it quickly.
Yeah.
And if you watch that fight, actually, he was telling the ref too. He could feel he wasn't. He's like, he's out. He's out.
Dr. Finn, I wanted to ask you, obviously, with bare knuckles, and obviously you guys do a really good job of imaging over there, AMI. How is it when you probably I say you haven't had any fighters going there, but talk about some of the things structure wise. I mean, I use my hands. I got arthritis in my hands and everywhere else. I can only imagine what bare knuckles and boxers, how important is it for, you know, a young man like him to make sure that he's always like up to tune with, you know, how his body is structured, because I think obviously that's, you know, how he gets paid.
Well, one of the things about bones is the more stress that's applied on them, the harder the bones get.
Right.
And that's why when you break a bone, and it grows back the same way it was, it's the muscles pulling them together, which tells the bones which way to grow. But you, Nate, practicing all the time, the bones in your hand are harder than the average person. They just are, from that repetitive motion, and that's going to keep that much stronger, and probably not a good deal for your opponent.
I learned this from sports science. Is that called calcification?
Yeah.
Making microfractures, and just giving it time, taking my vitamin C pills, drinking my milk,
and your vitamin D.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, it's actually not fractures. It's get nerdy on it. There's an electrochemical component inside the bones that when there's pressure applied, it tells the cells that make up the bones to grow more.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So Nate, you know, obviously you're a champ. What's next, and what's your ultimate goal?
I've been fighting for 16 years, like I told you guys, and my biggest goal, I guess, is my main goal when I started this. It wasn't necessarily, I want to be champion of the world. I just want to be ranked. I want to start with within the next year. I want to be ranked in the world for bare knuckle boxing people, and after that, if a title comes, that's fine. If notoriety, whatever comes, that's fine. I'm just a competitor. I want to have that notoriety to my skill.
How long does it take you to, like, okay, say, let's say you have a fight September 1st, right?
Mhm.
So how many weeks are you in training, you know, like pre-training? Because you do pre-training camp and then training camp, then obviously the fight, or how does your schedule
so
work?
I also kind of help teach some striking courses in my class at my gym locally, just to kind of help keep me in the gym and stuff. So I'm almost never not training. It's
Okay.
just an intensity thing.
Yeah.
When I know I have a fight coming up, usually we try and plan it about 6 to 8 weeks out, when we really start. Okay, you have to do your 5 specific rounds on top of our 6 warm-up rounds, and I'm probably spending like an hour and a half each week sparring
Mhm.
for 8 weeks.
For 10 minutes. That's
No. It's either 2 minute at a time or 3 minute at a time.
Okay.
And there's like usually a minute break.
Oh, I got you.
Mhm.
I got you. Yeah, but still, that's a lot of work and preparation. I mean, I obviously know for football, you practice all year, only play 12, but it takes some dedication, man, and you know, very commendable, because being in the fight game as you're in and enjoying it and then thriving in it, it takes, you know, intestinal fortitude. And you know, I wish you all luck. I'm excited to see it. You know, I like it that, you know, got a new, you know, I'm a big Adrian Broner fan, but I'm a new fan of yours, just because I like it that you're willing to go out there. And I think what your next fight potentially is down in Florida.
Yep, it should be. We're talking to fight in Hollywood, Florida, for
And
the
then-
BKFC.
Yeah, and that's kind of and that's starting to take off a little bit now. The bare knuckles.
That's the
right?
fastest growing combat sport, right?
Right.
There. Yeah, they're trying to compete with the UFC. Obviously, it's going to take some time to get ingratiated there, but
Yeah.
they are the UFC equivalent of the bare knuckle sport. You
Right.
know, they're the pioneers of it.
Yeah.
Is Conor McGregor
He,
one of the owners?
Connor helps own it. I think they're about to do a fight at Fenway Park on the 29th of August. They're trying to do some cool stuff like the UFC, obviously, but
Yeah.
they're just not getting invited to the White House level yet.
Yeah, not yet, man. I mean, you guys start bringing some star power over there. I mean, to be honest with you, as I'm starting to think, it didn't start with this guy I'm gonna talk about, but I don't know if you remember, Dr. Fenton. Remember Kimbo Slice?
Oh yeah. The
I-
internet.
he was right, but that's what it was. They were just literally in the backyard in like a makeshift kind of like ring, and it was just like it looked like they were just meeting on like lunch break
At a barbecue.
Yeah, he just remember he would come like out of the fence and show up at guy's house, and next thing you know, he's out, and then he made it. You know, up to, and he knocked out Ken Shamrock, I think, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just never know, you know, where you can go with it.
Dr. Finn, take us through too, like the training process and improving like the cardiovascular capacity. What's actually going on like medically, and then let's say you're in the ring, like you get the wind knocked out of you. What's happening there? Does it punch to the diaphragm, body? What actually happens when, you know, you've trained your cardiovascular capacity, breathing capacity is built up, you still get the wind knocked out of you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's has to do with the nerve that goes to the diaphragm called the phrenic nerve, and when there's a certain rhythm to it. Obviously, we don't even think about breathing until you need to, but when that nerve gets disrupted, it messes with the rhythm, and it becomes painful and awkward to breathe. Man, you could tell what that actually feels like.
I felt that a couple times, whether I'm getting punched like right square in the chest or like in the throat area. It happens more often than you think. But I would say the more debilitating shot would probably be like getting hit in the liver.
Yeah.
Those are the ones
Yeah,
you
the
see on
kidney
TV.
shot, right? Yeah.
Yeah, right up in the liver, getting underneath the cage, but coming still up with some force, squishing that liver real quick. That's when you see people's legs give out and they drop, or they're just like, oh, I can't. That's your liver.
So there's different types of pain receptors. We have different ones for sensation, for temperature, and your internal organs have their own nerve fibers, if you will, and they're just not the same. And so when those things get activated, it feels horrible because you don't need to know like a light touch to your liver, but you need to know when it's really in trouble. And so that's why that is a completely different sense of pain.
Yeah.
So is that nerve then the diaphragm? Is that the one that gets out of whack with hiccups?
Yes.
Same one?
Yeah.
So I know exactly what it feels like. I'm kidding.
Dr. Finn, before we let you go, I wanted to ask you about Conor McGregor, and obviously, Nate, I want you to comment on it too. I know you're bare knuckles, but you've done MMA before. I want to ask you, Dr. Finn, in your opinion, obviously there's discussions that he was compromised before he went into the ring. He didn't fight like he usually fought. I mean, I think he threw or tried to kick 6 or 7 times, couldn't land. First of all, now they've come out that it's his ACL and meniscus or whatever.
Meniscus, yeah.
So, and obviously the fight needed to go on for money-wise. How does somebody go in there and be able to show up like that and not be totally compromised? Obviously, he was able to protect himself enough to kind of tap out.
Well, a few things there. I would guess that no fighter's going into the ring without some sort of injury of some kind.
Right, yeah.
But I don't have inside information or anything, but in my opinion, I don't think he looked compromised. I know he stumbled when he took off his shoe or something, but I don't think you're going to throw that kick the way he did if he knows that he's compromised. You're going to protect it a little bit.
Right.
And the way he jumped into it, I don't think you'd ever go down that road if it was compromised.
Yeah.
What he did is the textbook way to tear your ACL. It's called a pivot shift injury, and he's going for when he was training before the fight, he was doing these static kicks just in place.
Yeah.
But when he threw that first kick when the fight started, he was actually jumping forward and landed still in motion. And as he was landing, his leg stuck, but his body kept moving.
Yeah.
And you can see it if you're into that, to seeing those injuries, but you can see the femur rotate in relation to the tibia.
Yeah.
And that's a very common combination is ACL and meniscus. They almost always go together.
Players, with that. I wanted to ask you also, another question before we let you go is that, Conor's over the last few years, he's gotten significantly bigger, like way bigger. I wanted to ask you, and I was thinking, and I've seen guys sometimes get, too big, too young in football, quickly. Do you think that maybe compromised it? Because he looked like he was carrying, you would say so, right? He looked like he was carrying about 15 extra pounds, right?
Yeah, he had fought at 170 before, but yeah, he had
But he
substantially more muscle.
Yes,
right
now, I wanted to ask you that. When you add that muscle at his age, which is by no means old, but I'm sure in the fight game, you also had the gruesome leg injury before, and then you add that muscle on. Does that can sometimes compromise you? I know football wise it does, because I've talked to guys, right? They always tell you want to lose weight when you're trying to come back from any type of lower leg injury versus Conor coming back and he's
it depends
bigger.
on where the muscle is, and bulking up on his upper body is not going to that's going to make it more weight, more momentum, which he had throughout the injury. But for something like your shoulder, it's probably going to be protected.
Sure,
because it's more of a sleeve.
Stabilizer, right?
That's right. And it's just working out your legs, yes, it can help, but not for those pivot shift injuries.
Yeah, it's kind of like no
the
matter
added
what.
weight and the momentum is going to make that worse.
I thought so. And Nate, I want to ask you, what's your weight, man? How much you weigh?
I fight at 135 pounds, but I cut from about 155, 160 on a good day.
And how long does it take you? So your walk around weight is 150.
About 155, 160.
160. So how long does it take? I mean, obviously you're burning calories left and right when you're in training. So how long does it take, and how do you stair step it to get to?
I usually, so like I said, I like to get a 6 to 8 week kind of notice before, because it's definitely a lifestyle change. I don't have much meat on my bone to just cut.
Yeah.
I do have to start doing what I call eating rabbit food, a lot of small portion of oatmeal, boiled eggs, just boiled chicken at night, that type of stuff. But I usually get down to about 145, 148 naturally, just through diet and my more intensive workout routine.
Right.
And then that last 10 pounds, I'm still fully hydrated. I'll cut that last 10 plus pounds about 3 to 4 days out from the fight, just so my body isn't sitting dehydrated for an extended period of time.
Yeah. And so then by the time fight comes, your body is more naturally used to that weight, right? To weigh in?
To an extent. So we have night before weigh-ins. And so I'll weigh in 135, 136 that night. And then coming back in the cage, I've gotten up to like 151 again.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten it's literally just making that weight. And it's a wrestler or fighter that would make that weight by heck or high water.
Yeah.
And then blimp right back up.
Yeah.
Safely, as safe as possible. You don't want to be bloated by any means.
Right.
But
yeah, it's always interesting when you know, especially in boxing, when they talk about hydration, they're able to tell by looking at their skin, you know, and obviously if you know, so I obviously, you know, listen to that stuff. I never knew it. I just looked at it, you know, whether he was lean or not, you know, whether he was in shape or not. But, you know, hydration is key in any sport, but in particular yours when you got to make weight. So I want to thank you guys for coming in, Dr. Finn and Nate, and wish you all the good luck, all the luck in the world. We look forward to seeing you continue to prosper, because I got a feeling that you're going to get to big time. So,
appreciate you, brother.
And you definitely got to come back after you win another belt down in Hollywood.
Oh, you already know, brother.
Yeah. So Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School with Dr. Finn and Nate. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Planet Fitness, your pace is as personal as your playlist. That's why right now, you can get up to 3 free months of Apple Music when you join for just $1 down. With best-in-class equipment, free fitness training, and a judgment-free environment, we have everything you need to go your speed. Join Planet Fitness for $1 down and get up to 3 free months of Apple Music. No commitment. Deal ends July 31st. Additional fees and restrictions apply. See Home Club for details.
This summer, Salt Dogs fans are making history at Haymarket Park. We're celebrating 25 seasons of grit, grins, heart, and hometown pride. Lincoln, you built this stadium. You named this team. And season after season, it's you, the fans, that keep us coming back for more. So let our thank you be our promise. The best is yet to come. Your local tradition plays on. Get your tickets at saltdogs.com.
Hi, it's Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC in Louisville. Koppel is proud to be the highest rated GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln areas based on Google reviews. Right now, get 0% financing for 60 months on new Silverado and Sierra 1500 models. But hurry, the 0% financing offer won't last long. Visit us in Louisville or check us out online at koppelcars.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers, and if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. It's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear that you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Greens Furnace and Plumbing has been servicing the southeast Nebraska area since 1921, specializing in HVAC systems, bathroom remodels, duct cleaning, backflow testing, and so much more. With a network of trained technicians ready to assist you, Greens Furnace and Plumbing is your source for dedicated commercial HVAC services for your business, building, or even your home so it can run without unwanted interruption. Learn more by visiting their website at callgreens.com or give them a call at 402-467-4444 today.
Hi, it's Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC in Louisville. Koppel is proud to be the highest rated GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln areas based on Google reviews. Right now, get 0% financing for 60 months on new Silverado and Sierra 1500 models. But hurry, the 0% financing offer won't last long. Visit us in Louisville or check us out online at koppelcars.com.
Graham Tire Company is celebrating 75 years of serving our neighbors throughout the Midwest. And to say thank you, we're giving you $75 in instant rebate on a set of 4 select tires during our anniversary sale event. You can stack on even more savings with big mail-in rebates on select tires from Goodyear and Cooper when you use your Goodyear credit card. And remember, all tires are on sale right now, making this a perfect time to upgrade for summer travels. Hurry in today. Graham Tire, your tire store next door.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Keeping our hour of guests moving, rolling right along here on Old School. Austin Orman, Jay Foreman with you. We're headed to our Allo Fiber VIP line where we are joined by Brian Munson of Husker Online. Back off the road. Brian, camp season officially over. How is it to be home? How is camp season for you and the young man?
Camp season was long and hard, and it carried out until mid-July. So yeah, we came back we were in Gatlinburg Saturday, Sunday. Like I told you offline, we left there at 12:30 Eastern. Sunday afternoon, I got in at 12:30 midnight on Monday morning. Woo. And it was 13 hours straight. But the way that it was all set up was like, look, I'll give you a thumbs up in Little Rock if we're going to make it home. And it was like 7:45. And I go, well, we can drive to Arkadelphia, which is 40 minutes down the road, but it's only going to be 8:15. And then I go, then we can make it to Texarkana, but it's only going to be 9:45. And then you're 2 hours or 3 hours away from home. And I was just like, why would I stay in 2 hours away from home for $300? You know, like I would just rather just go ahead and get home. So we came home, and I had been out of it basically ever since. And I had 2 really long meeting days, and I'm ready to start getting into some recruiting action, though, starting basically tonight, making new fresh phone calls tonight.
There you go. Stay tuned for some of that. We'll, I'm sure, preview a little bit of that here. But haven't gone to some camps, Brian. I mean, I know you've scouted your fair share of them, but now as a parent as well, what would be your advice for parents and athletes as they hit the camp circuit?
I think that you have to, you got to kind of be realistic about where things are at. I think that's been my biggest point of advice for any parent is you got to know your son's expectations, but you also have to be able to take a look at basically like the reality of the situation. Is my son going to be a D1 football player? No, yes. Go through the steps of kind of trying to figure it out. If you have not heard from your D1 programs by your sophomore year, your junior year, chances are your FCS, your D2, and there's nothing wrong with that. Look, my son's a long snapper, maybe an offensive lineman on the side. And there's a benefit of going a D2 or a FCS route, with my son, because chances are he's going to have film, if he goes and does something like that. And there are stories about guys getting poached, directly from FCS schools, or even like, G5 type of schools by P4 programs. So you kind of have to evaluate all these little things that are kind of going on. But I think being realistic, it starts out there. I think the other one is making your son responsible, or your daughter responsible for going through these things, just what it is that they have to have, and being prepared for it all. But I think you have to start small, and you have to learn the ins and outs of camps. A lot of it's repetitious drills. Once you learn what the drills are, drill on the drills and be ready to go to camp. Don't go into camp and not be prepared. You have to be in shape. You have to be practicing those drills. You don't want to show up there and just say, this is the first time I've done this all season. Like, you've got to be prepared for that stuff. So we are, we're still learning. My son's 16. He's a sophomore. He'll be a junior. We got another summer of it, but I think we're getting better as the year goes on, as the years go by. And, hopefully next year we'll be peaking as we kind of get ready to move into like that ever important summer before your senior year. That's where guys are taking their official visits now. And if you're not getting those official visit or spring type visits, to D1 schools, and you have, again, something to, emphasize that you're probably not going the D1 route. So what are the D2 schools that you're talking to? What are the FCS schools that you're talking to? Plan your camp schedule around those realistic schools. We did a couple D1s that we've been talking to, and then we did, a Division II who we're talking to. We did an FCS that we've been talking to, and we're going to keep kind of expanding the list. But we just did like 5 or 6 this year, and we'll do probably about twice as many of that next summer.
From what you've experienced, what separates a good camp, a well-run camp, a worthwhile camp from a run-of-the-mill or lower camp?
Yeah, that's a great question, because you will definitely be able to tell the camps that are money grabs versus the ones that have real good content and coaching. I think that obviously, you're looking for those camps where your son turns around and says, I learned a lot. I related well to the coaches. The coaches were very interested. They were vested in me as far as being there, as opposed to, I didn't talk to anybody. We barely did any reps. There was nothing really that was there that, that was really challenging for me. They definitely seemed to be interested in only 2 or 3 guys, but they had 80 of us out there. So there's definitely telltale signs about that stuff. And I think people, like coaches, would tell these kids, if you're not getting like personal invites, don't go to the camps. Look, not everybody's going to get a personal invite, and you can turn heads at camps even without the personal invite, but you have to go out there, and you just got to be prepared, and you got to be ready for it. But I can definitely tell you, and parents will understand, and they'll be able to tell it themselves. You'll be able to go to these camps, and you'll be able to tell which ones were money grabs and which one were like legit good learning, good for my money type of investment kind of camps. So those are definitely going to stand out very much to you when you're going through all of this.
We're chatting with Brian Munson of Husker Online here on our Allo Fiber VIP line. I'm going to flip the tables on you a little bit, Brian.
Yep.
As a coach, when you go to a camp, obviously you're there to watch a player. You want to get eyes on a player. What are coaches watching for? What are they trying to get eyes on? I'm sure it depends, position by position, purpose of the camp by purpose of the camp.
Sure.
But generally speaking, when a player goes to a camp, what should they be aware of for what the coaches are looking at in terms of recruitability and projectability?
Well, it's funny you should ask, because I happen to have a son who's a D2 coach, and he traveled all summer to all these various colleges and had a chance to watch guys, offer guys, get a chance to evaluate them up close. And I had a chance to really listen to him about what his process is. And I think the first thing first is testing numbers. They, you get an idea, obviously, watching film of what you can kind of anticipate, what you're expecting. There's track numbers, obviously, that get put on top of that people are always interested in, but then you want to get an idea of like, okay, real height, real weight. You want to get an idea then of like your 40 straight line speed, your 5.10 fives, standing broad, and vertical jump. So testing is always very important during the summer. That's why I said, don't go into these camps without being prepared. You have to prepare. You have to be ready to know how to take the tests. You have to be doing those tests at a very high, the highest level you possibly can, like when you're going into them, and not just doing it for the first time all summer long. So the evaluation part starts with those testing numbers. That's kind of how you separate people right away. You can kind of just go ahead and say, I can quit looking on this side of the field because the guys that I'm interested in, or there's 5 or 6 of them, they ran this fast, they are this big, they standing broad jump that much, they can vertical jump this much, and they can go ahead then and basically say, like, I'm interested in 5 or 6 of these guys. And then from there, it's more or less like, how do they handle the competition? And understanding, of course, something about the guy across from them a little bit and how well they're doing against those guys. That was a big key that, as I kind of picked up on it all summer long, was just like knowing who the players were that they were scouting versus the players, of course, that they were going up against. And then they had a kind of an idea about the other schools that were interested against those opposing players, and then understanding like competition level, understanding the guys that are recruiting those other players. So he can kind of put a stamp on, like, generally speaking, how the other person is recruiting those guys, what they're looking for when it comes to the talent level and what they view to be the talent of that player. So you can get a better understanding, like, right away, like how that recruit is doing against the competition and why that other guy is probably getting recruited by this other school. So big thing is testing. Then the next thing is the competition, doing your one-on-one, standing out during that time. And I think also just the routine stuff. If you're screwing up on the routine stuff, like if you're a wide receiver and you're not turning your hands over, or you're letting the ball travel all the way to your body, or you're rounding off your cuts, or all the other various things that can kind of go along with that. Those are the things, like when they say that, look, you just can a college coach fix that? Sure. Do they want to? Do they want to have to spend time on it? No. Unless you do like the testing thing so incredibly well that they can look past some of that stuff and say, if he's going to run a 4.38, we can work on turning his hands over. We can work on him rounding that cut. We can work on him expanding his route tree, the things that he does well. He might be good at doing 2 routes today. Another guy can do all the routes. Therefore, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the guy that can do all the routes as opposed to a guy that I can do 2, and I can be able to add more to them, but otherwise they're equal players. So those are the things that that really set up my conversations, of course, this summer, and those are the things I've understood before, or really, and going through this process with my oldest son and my youngest, that's where things kind of start and how things kind of go during these camps.
The testing piece of that is especially interesting to me because we hear coaches talk about that all the time. You have what you're looking for, the measurables, because they are important, right? There's just a certain baseline that a lot of guys need to meet. But then the flip side of that, Brian, is the exceptions, right? That prove the rule.
Yeah.
Did you have a sense of how often, the best teams in the country make exceptions right now? I know those are the ones that often, go and get the best players, at least the best prospects out of high school. But how often are there, these exceptions that coaches are willing to make? How often do the best staffs make exceptions for guys that maybe don't quite meet the testing requirements, but it's a gut feel or an eye test thing as opposed to a data conversation?
Not very often. I mean, when you listen to like what Ryan Day says, we're only going to recruit guys that are day 1, day 2, NFL draft guys. We're recruiting 1st round, 2nd round draft picks, and that's it. The key to what he is saying there really rests less in where you are currently as a player and is more about checking the boxes of what you can be as a player. So you're not going to play offensive tackle if you're 6'3". Those guys look a different way. They are 6'5" minimum. They're up to 6'8", 6'9", and maybe even above. They have certain wingspans. They have certain foot sizes. They have certain hand sizes. So there's a whole taped out kind of spec of what that position looks like. And those are the things that you cannot get around. So those are the guys that are first round draft picks, the guys that tape out and are completely and totally different. They're freaks when it comes to, having that 7 foot plus wingspan and being a 6'5.5" guy. Those are the things that really stand out and really get the NFL teams fired up. Look at a guy like Mike Mamula from Boston College several years ago, workout warrior, went to the Philadelphia Eagles, didn't really do anything in the NFL, but he tested off the charts. But then if you go look at some of these other guys, and the first things that they'll talk about were, NFL combine performance, how well they, what they taped out at, what really stood out, like in comparison to other players, like what does this other guy look like? So when you start talking about evaluating a high school player and you're a Ryan Day or you're, Alabama or LSU or whatever, you don't have to take exceptions to your rules about if this person or if this recruit checks the box. The boxes need to be checked for them. Otherwise, it's almost like my coach requires me as an assistant coach to recruit the best players in the country. I can't bring him a 6'3" offensive tackle. He will laugh me out of his office. I have to bring the guys that check the box, that are prototypical. And not very often do you really have like those exceptions that basically go beyond, hey, this is a prototypical looking dude when it comes to comparing him to other Division I draft picks or where other guys were at this time in their lives. So yeah, the answer to that question is not very often.
Is Nebraska in that position where they are taking more the prototype, baseline measurement guys, or is Nebraska in a spot right now in recruiting that it is taking some exceptions to the rules and having to rely more on the growth, the potential, the development down the line?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think that they're dabbling on both ends of the pool, that they're getting prototypical looking dudes in some cases, and in other cases they're having to go out and find the guys that are freakishly productive, but yet don't have necessarily the ability to check the box on having the right height, having the right speed, having the right whatever that kind of NFL scouts, kind of covet when it comes to looking at those guys. It doesn't mean, that necessarily that Nebraska is bringing in the wrong guys. It just means that in certain spots where they've had to either spread the money around differently or, the coveted spots like edge, like I mentioned this morning in 3-0, two really difficult positions to kind of go out there and get. When you're looking for really like that pass rushing edge guy where you're looking for a 6'5", 235-pound guy that's super long, that really knows how to attack the outside shoulder of like the offensive tackle, or you're looking for kind of that hybrid drop in the box, kind of nickel linebacker kind of guy. The guy that doesn't need to come off the field. He can roll back to safety. He can come down in the box. He can do a little bit of everything. Those guys are really, really talented. Those guys are highly coveted guys. So like when you're taking a look for those guys like that, Nebraska is like, they're doing those evaluation things. They're trying to find those guys. Those are just highly coveted, don't grow on trees, and they're not everywhere to be found. And there's really high price tags on those things. And I think that Nebraska's had to do the right things to get the team kind of set up properly, to kind of get it oriented in the right way. And I think that what they've done this year so far in the 2027 class is they made a massive investment, of course, with Trey Taylor. Mm-hmm. They've done the same thing like with Khalil Taylor. They would do something similar again with Ahmad Hudson. And then they went out there and they got an incredible depth when it comes to the offensive line. They got some other wide receivers to kind of go along with it. So they've really kind of loaded up over there. And then I think in other places where they've had to kind of find a guy or two and find some value, they've looked for production. And they've looked for guys that, like I said, they don't have ideal height. They don't have that ideal speed. But when you put the film on and you can kind of see it, like when you put that, that 4.25 out in front of you and you go, okay, this guy's going to be playing this spot for me. And he's playing a similar spot in high school. And this guy had some crazy stats. We could definitely use him exactly the same way and we're going to put some better guys in front of him than what he had in high school, and we're going to try to get that same production out of him. We're going to get every ounce of potential that he has out of his chassis, and we're going to maximize everything. So I think Nebraska's doing what they need to do, but I think there are some trade-offs from time to time.
I read 3 and Out this morning. You can read it too, HuskerOnline.com. Give Brian a follow on Twitter as well, at Brian Munson _. As always, Brian, appreciate your time. Thanks for the insight. Glad you made it back from camp season. Stay cool down there. I know as we get in the heat of summer down in your things, and we'll catch up again next week, my friend.
That was very fun. And 109 degrees today, by the way, here in Dallas. So y'all stay cool up there. All right, be good.
I appreciate it. There he goes. Brian Munson of Husker Online with us on our Allo Fiber VIP line. Allo Fiber is where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. Big thanks to Graham Tire Company for their sponsorship of the show. Don't forget they're celebrating 75 years of serving the Midwest. Their anniversary sale is going on this week. $75 in instant rebates on a set of 4 select tires. You can stack even more savings with big mail-in rebates on select tires from Goodyear and Cooper. Get all the details online, or you can also go into your Lincoln location, one of the 4 of them, your Graham Tire store next door. We'll be back putting a bow on hour 2 of Old School next.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Planet Fitness, your pace is as personal as your playlist. That's why right now, you can get up to 3 free months of Apple Music when you join for just $1 down. With best-in-class equipment, free fitness training, and a judgment-free environment, we have everything you need to go your speed. Join Planet Fitness for $1 down and get up to 3 free months of Apple Music. No commitment. Deal ends July 31st. Additional fees and restrictions apply. See Home Club for details.
This summer, Salt Dogs fans are making history at Haymarket Park. We're celebrating 25 seasons of grit, grins, heart, and hometown pride. Lincoln, you built this stadium. You named this team. And season after season, it's you, the fans, that keep us coming back for more. So let our thank you be our promise. The best is yet to come. Your local tradition plays on. Get your tickets at saltdogs.com.
Hi, it's Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC in Louisville. Koppel is proud to be the highest rated GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln areas based on Google reviews. Right now, get 0% financing for 60 months on new Silverado and Sierra 1500 models. But hurry, the 0% financing offer won't last long. Visit us in Louisville or check us out online at koppelcars.com.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. It doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers, and if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. It's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear that you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Greens Furnace and Plumbing has been servicing the southeast Nebraska area since 1921, specializing in HVAC systems, bathroom remodels, duct cleaning, backflow testing, and so much more. With a network of trained technicians ready to assist you, Greens Furnace and Plumbing is your source for dedicated commercial HVAC services for your business, building, or even your home so it can run without unwanted interruption. Learn more by visiting their website at callgreens.com or give them a call at 402-467-4444 today.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. Welcome back in. It is Old School. Austin Orman, Jay Foreman with you. Big thanks to the lineup of guests here so far in hour 2 of the show. Dr. Daniel Finn and Nate Morrow. Join us in the first segment. Brian Munson of Husker Online then in the second. You can be part of the show, 402-464-5685 by dropping a text on our Sutter Heyman Jewelers text line. Neil texted in at the end of the first segment. Nate is a bad man. I've loved watching him fight through the years. Sat with him at the fights at the Grove watching my buddy. A great dude as well. So, yep, shout out to Nate. Really appreciate he and Dr. Finn coming down. Yeah, I did want to get to this really briefly in college basketball news. Niko Medved, head basketball coach for the Minnesota Golden Gophers, after 1 year on campus, gets an extension.
Yeah, that was interesting.
What?
Yeah.
I know we're handing him out like candy, but come on.
I don't think anybody was knocking at his door.
No.
And I wonder if he hit certain, like, I used to call them escalators, or like certain incentives to automatically kick it in. I wonder if he had, it's not just a retention bonus, is an extra year on his contract. I wonder if that was part of, the deal, that if they hit certain benchmarks.
But if that's the case, why wasn't that announced right after the season? I mean, this is July. If
the timing's awful interesting. I don't know. I mean, I'm just gonna say, hey, look, it's just one of those things that they didn't think it was a big deal. Somebody found out about it, so let's get out there, before they. I mean, there's been extensions around here that have been signed and already in effect and not reported till late. Like about a few years ago.
This is a dude that, went 15-18 in his first year. Local-ish guy with some connections up there. Did have some nice wins, right? Beat Indiana at home. Knocked off Iowa at home. Had Nebraska on the ropes for a while at home. And I'm pro Niko Medved. Like, I think the dude's a good coach. But you still went 15-18. You went one and done in the conference tournament with a loss to Rutgers. Didn't have an all-conference player. You get an extension?
Yeah.
Good job. You didn't embarrass us. You did it.
And the recruiting hasn't been so stellar that you're like, oh, next year's the next year is the year.
Right.
So I don't know. It's I don't know. It's it's kind of hard for me to say why he would even get one. Maybe if he won 15 games and got an extra extension, well, dang. I mean, I guess I could have been the coach. Because what was it? You had to win 12? That's not a lot. So
you get 11 of them in the non-conference,
right? You just got to go and just got to keep it. You hope a couple teams ate too much pasta or had some bad food the night before, or got snowed in somewhere before they played. So I don't know. I mean, they must obviously like him, and I think obviously for the Gophers, I will tell you this: it's been, for them and the way that they've kind of, I guess, operated, in years past, their athletic department has kind of always been a little dicey. Being able to keep coaches, and particularly basketball coaches, has been also dicey. So if they're trying to commit to him, then maybe they feel like this is their guy.
Unless it's just like the rolling contract. That's the only other thing. But again, I come back to why announce this now in late July, right? Let your athletic director announce it at Big Ten Media Days, for football, or even basketball media days later on. I feel like this could have waited until 28-29. An extension into 31-32. But hey, go get it, Niko Medved. Go get it, Minnesota. I think they're on the up and coming. But I don't know. It just made me chuckle when I saw that this morning. Let's go ahead and go to break. We'll wrap up hour 2 with that. Full hour 3 of Old School here on the FM dial comes your way next. This is Old School, brought to you by Graham Tire, 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new Delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Noticing more dust at home? It may be time for duct cleaning from Bryant. Breathe easy and healthy. Call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Building a new home can be a challenge, a lot of big choices. With our Remington homes, we have designed 15 different floor plans that appeal to a wide range of people.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, talking about Remington Homes, which makes the home building process easier.
People really enjoy being able to go to our website, which is remingtonlincoln.com, pick a plan, pick a price point, go through and build it yourself. You have a lot of options, whether you want granite, painted trim, wood floors, more stone, all options with our Remington homes. People do not want to be married to their house payment. You're able to get what you really want in a home for a great price with very limited stress. And that's what Remington homes are all about.
Home building is easier with a Remington home from Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at remingtonlincoln.com. remingtonlincoln.com.
Husker fans, the 2026 Nebraska football season is quickly approaching, and we need you in the Sea of Red at Memorial Stadium this fall. Single game tickets for all 7 home games start at just $45 and are now available in both end zone and sideline seat locations. These tickets are only available while supplies last, so get yours today before they're gone. To purchase your Husker football single game tickets or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers, and if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Hi, it's Caitlin, an AmeriCorps member serving with Conservation Nebraska. Here, AmeriCorps members lead and provide environmental education, restore habitats, and connect communities to conservation resources. Through AmeriCorps, I have learned to serve and make an impact in caring for the land we love, the land of Nebraska. We serve, we learn, and we make an impact. AmeriCorps does that for people. Learn more at serve.nebraska.gov.
Visit servenebraska.gov, paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln, this is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Coy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts, answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln, your tire store next door with 4 Lincoln locations. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman? Hour 3, 5 o'clock hour. We're live in effect at 1040 O Street. We see the sun finally shining through, which is about 6 hours too late, according to all the weather apps and the weather men and women. But we're starting to get some sunshine. Cool day here for the July here in Lincoln. But we are brought to you by Graham Tire, serving the Midwest for over 75 years. 4 locations located here in Lincoln. Look them up, GrahamTireOfLincoln.com. Go in there and tell them Austin and Jay sent you, and they will definitely take care of you. Also, they can take care of any of your car and light truck needs as well. So we appreciate their support and appreciate all of our listeners supporting them as well. Just a few blocks down from where we're located. So, Austin, it is essentially now Thursday, right? According to my football clock. Time is ticking, my brother. Okay. It was just a little while ago after July 4th. I said, I was telling the people out there, your life is now over.
And it's 2.5 weeks later.
Yeah. Listen, it is written now. You just don't know. And we're getting close to football time. I thought it was in this first segment, it'd be good to look into the Big Ten, because we're headed to Nebraska Media Days and essentially, Monday. And then obviously we'll be on the air Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Obviously interviewing other teams and players, coaches and players, and maybe hopefully some officials and administrators from the Big Ten. So I wanted to look at the ESPN had their projected Big Ten order of finish. They have Nebraska finishing at 9. It's ahead of a team that we talked about earlier in Illinois, right? Where realistically, they can kind of moonwalk their way to 8-9 wins, and so that means Nebraska's going to have to be at that clip. So, we'll do it in 3, right? And this is probably more to talk about because the defending national champion isn't number 1. No benefit of the doubt. Number 1 is Ohio State.
Okay.
When you bring back Jeremiah Smith, you got Chris Henry Jr., you got all those defensive guys coming back, and after losing, 3 or 4 first-round picks, you can see why they might be the odds-on favorite. And now you have Bo Jackson as running back, so they have a plethora of playmakers.
Not that one, but
do they have? I wouldn't even say do they have the toughness. Do they have the competitive stamina / toughness to last all season after potentially dominating all season and draft rankings start to come out? And that hurts. I think sometimes, the college football playoffs, the way they're structured, I think it can hurt teams like Ohio State, Oregon, now Indiana, Miami, the teams that have a lot of draftable and highly drafted or thought of in the draft realm. I think it can hurt them a little bit. You can definitely can lose focus when you have a couple weeks off and say you have that, that bye week and the home game, or you get a home game, you still get about 10 days off, right? So I think it can hurt them. Now, those are, I call it first world problems. Got, 6 first-round picks last year for Ohio State, and then, you got 6 more waiting and recruited 3 more and all that. Nobody cares, but I think it can hurt them a little bit. And it's interesting that Indiana, considering what they've done the last 2 years, right? They're coming back number 3. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it makes sense that Ohio State's number 1. They fit a lot of what some of these metrics would look for, whether it's computer-driven or eye test-driven. Quarterback back, defensive coordinator back, players back. Obviously. Oregon
gets
a lot of benefit of the doubt, but they're down 2 coordinators.
Yeah.
That's a big bet on Dan Lanning. That's a big bet on Dante Moore. It's a big bet on being healthier. I think it's right where Indiana wants to be.
Yeah.
Under the radar enough, right? I don't think that we're ever going to forget Indiana football winning a national championship, as much as we might like to. As much as Kurt Cignetti won't let us live it down. Hey, I won a national championship. Even though it's on to the next for him. Really interested to see how media days go for him this year. But I think that those are the 3 most proven teams in the Big Ten right now in that group. And I think that order ends up making sense. I'm okay with not giving Indiana the benefit of the doubt, according to the numbers right now. If you don't think they're the best, they plugged a lot of holes. Hoover's got something to prove.
A couple DNs out of the portal.
Yeah.
Another defensive back. All of them. One from Kansas State.
They'll be good.
They'll be good.
10-2 won't feel like a step back for them. It'll be big news the first time Indiana loses a game, because they went for all season last year undefeated, and they probably won't lose very early, but it'll be a story when they lose a game. But Indiana's 10-2, Indiana's 9-3. That's still validation as far as I'm concerned for them.
Yeah, I think I would have maybe had Indiana number 2. Oregon's wait and see. Like you said, there's no continuity there from the coaching staff as far as Oregon is concerned. Dante Moore is good, but maybe not great, especially in big games. He's struggled a little bit, and Oregon is went a step farther every year.
I still like him more than Hoover.
I don't know.
Okay,
Hoover in that system with Cignetti and that team. Homeboy, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Homeboy can throw the ball.
He can play.
He can throw, and he can run. And the discipline is there. And if they have now, granted, they lost, a first round pick and a second round pick at wide receiver. They lost their kind of H-back tight end as well. But Kirk Cignetti, he went and got Marsh.
Yep.
They had a couple guys that
Becker's back.
Becker's
right?
back.
Yep.
So they have. There's just rinse and repeat for them, and that's why I think he'll perform well. Dante Moore, I think, for me, you can't convince me that it's a legitimate reason for you to come back, because Todd McShay says that you need to go to college for another year and not be and go to the New York Jets. I mean, they're going to pick you again this year.
They might anyways.
I mean, you're bypassing.
Your last name isn't Manning, so good luck with that.
You're bypassing potentially like $30 million to come back to college.
Yeah,
to play at Oregon, which is a great honor to be there. But the deck is already stacked in your favor. So
why are you giving it back to the house?
Right, and his performance at times against like competition is suspect at best, and so that's why I give it to Hoover. But Hoover has to. I guess Calandra has to, find a remedy to turnovers. And also think sometimes people hang their hat on turnovers and don't really, I would say they're not all, created equal. I mean, TCU was not very good, right? So you're forcing stuff and X, Y, and Z. Calandra was essentially a one-man show down there in UNLV. You shouldn't turn the ball over at the clip that they have. But also you have to, the circumstances as well. So that's the top 3. The next 3 is probably the most interesting, because if I'm like Nebraska and other teams, I'm like, oh, we're in a perfect position if we have handled our business to get in the dance. Seriously. This is not predicting Nebraska's going 10-2, but if they have handled their business, because the hay's in the barn right now. If you're a player and you're working as hard as you can, if you're trying to make up for lost time right now, you need to go to plan B and figure out how you're going to, find your way to kind of be able to, I guess, ride with the tide and then eventually catch your sea legs and then get going. You've lost a lot of time right now if you're trying to scramble right now. If you're 10 pounds overweight or 10 pounds underweight, you're not getting there. Right? Unless you do something that normally people can't do. But the next 3 is USC, Michigan, Penn State. Now, they will all 3 of those teams will always be very talented, no doubt about it. In USC, I'll give them a benefit of doubt because the quarterback's coming back. They got all 8 of their running backs back, the ones that we saw, and their best running back was out last year.
So the other guy didn't look too bad, though.
The walk-on was walking. Yeah, so, I feel like you got it there, and obviously they lost 2 receivers, but they have the tight end coming back that's really, really good. Potentially could win the John Mackey Award, and he'll probably be drafted in the first 3 rounds. Offensive line is back. Recruiting has been really well, so I can see USC at number 4. I can see it. I can see it, not agree.
Yes,
I can see it
because
I always look at head coach, quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay, so that they're solid. So then that's why I can see it. Versus Michigan,
new
New head coach, new conference, a great coach though.
Mm-hmm.
So you expect them to be good. Quarterback, not so much. Now, in his system, if he runs it like there was in Utah, then that'll be more of a, I see why you got him there.
But he's got to prove he can do what Devin Dampier did.
He's got to prove that he can just do the things you need to do. Now, running
Well,
and
he
all
needs to
that,
prove he can play quarterback,
right?
Not just play football. Play
Yeah,
quarterback.
right. So that's where I think that's a little too high for Michigan, right? And they lost some talent too.
Oh yeah.
And then there's Penn State. A little, obviously, James Franklin came in and was cherry picking off of that roster.
Matt Campbell.
No, James Franklin, when he went to Virginia Tech,
sorry, yeah,
he
sorry,
went to
yeah,
get,
yeah,
he brought some guys with
That's
him,
right,
right?
My bad. Yep.
Recruits as well.
Mm-hmm.
They lost guys to the NFL,
Mhm.
especially across the offensive line and the defensive line and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the second level linebackers are going to be good because they come back. Defensive backs, they're always really good. But you have a new coach in a new conference, right? Late start to implementing his program based on circumstances.
Yeah.
Indirectly. But I will say this, they have a quarterback and head coach that are together. I just don't know if the talent is there, what Penn State is used to garner the number, to be ranked in the top 6.
So,
I mean, you expect Matt Campbell to come right in? So when you're top 6 in the Big Ten right now, that's what, 8, 9, 10 wins?
Yeah, at least 8. And here's the thing. Iowa State last year, 8-4. Iowa State's schedule last year was win over Kansas State in the Dublin game, win over South Dakota, win over Iowa, win at Arkansas State, win over Arizona, 1 possession loss to Cincinnati when they were hot, 1 possession loss on the road to Colorado. Bye week, 2-score loss to BYU at home, 1 possession loss to Arizona State at home, 1 possession win on the road at TCU, big win against Kansas, and that would have been Senior Day, and then a 1-score win on the road at Oklahoma State last year before they opt out of the bowl game, of course, with Matt Campbell taking the job. So essentially, Matt Campbell transplants 50-some players from Ames to Happy Valley.
Yeah.
Step up in competition across the board.
And a different style of football.
Different style of football.
But he plays more
Big Ten-ish.
In the Big 12.
Here's the schedule for Penn State. Host Marshall, go to Temple, host Buffalo. Host Wisconsin, go to Northwestern. That's a short week. That's a Friday night game at Ryan Field or wherever they're playing now. Host USC, go to Michigan. Second bye week. No, sorry, this is a short week before. This is their bye week then on the 24th. They host Purdue on Halloween before traveling to Washington, turn around and host Minnesota, host Rutgers, go to Maryland to end the year. Jay, there is a glaring lack of Oregon, of Ohio State, and of Indiana on that schedule. Of the teams that are in that same range as Penn State, that next 3, they get USC at home and Michigan on the road.
Okay,
I think it sets up for them.
So is that ranking, or is this ranking based on the schedule? It's only preseason, but still.
It might be. I mean, you can tell me that Penn State's 8-4. I would say that's probably underachieving. I mean, you better beat Minnesota, Penn State's probably comparable to Iowa State at home. You better win your coin flip game.
Yeah. I mean,
you better go on the road and beat Northwestern. You better beat Wisconsin at home. You can talk me into 10 if they, split Michigan and USC. You can talk me into, I think 8 would probably be an average year with that schedule, and things don't click. Beck gets hurt, whatever it is. And that's a bowl eligible team. I think they're ceiling, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can see it. It's going to be interesting to see how they play, how all those guys play. Now, it could be like Kirk Cignetti, where he brought his team together and they just boat racing people, right from the beginning, putting the whole America on notice. But it would be interesting to see where they're at. A lot of things has changed for Penn State in a year. Last year, preseason number 1. This year, preseason number 6 in the Big Ten. That's a big change.
It is.
Along with the coach and obviously new type of system coming in.
So before we move on, I know there's another batch of teams we want to get to, but the gap between Ohio State and Oregon, according to the Football Power Index, is 3.4 points. Ohio State's at 28-7 and Oregon's at 25-3. The gap between USC and Penn State is 3.3 points, 17 to 13.7, according to Connolly's metrics. There is a clear-cut number one, a tight race for 2 and 3, and then there's a gap of 6 points between Indiana and USC.
Yeah.
So what the numbers are telling you is Ohio State's a clear favorite, according to the numbers. Oregon and Indiana are facing off for a chance to play in the Big Ten title game, essentially. And then you have some dark horses there that are all, comparable in that range before you get to another, 2.5, 3 point gap between Team 6, Penn State, and then that next batch of 3.
Yeah, the next batch of 3 is right in my opinion, right in there with USC, Michigan, and Penn State. Now, obviously, I think the success or the year in and year out wins for USC, Michigan, and Penn State, I think, and then throw Iowa in there too, is why Nebraska and Washington, or Washington and Nebraska, is number 8 and 9, and throw Illinois in there at 10. So I'm going to move Iowa up into that second tier because I view them, they're no different than Penn State in Michigan and in Iowa, right?
Yeah.
So then in this third tier, when you go down to Washington, Nebraska, Illinois, they're there, in my opinion, obviously, because you haven't been consistent enough, right? Washington, has put a lot of guys in the league, right? Obviously and then Coach Jed Fish has done a really good job. And then obviously with Nebraska, we're here where we've been bowl eligible the last 2 years, but below Washington as far as where's the win total, and then below Illinois just over the last 2 or 3 years, I think, as well. But all three of these teams are the same. They all have the ability and the pathway to be at the bottom of tier 1 and at the top of tier 2.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can call them dark horses, or you can call them, career underachievers. At the end of the day, the path is there. And if I was all three of those teams, I'm thinking I'm making some noise. I don't think by any means, if we get to play USC, if it comes down to any of those teams besides Washington, I wouldn't even say Washington, that played USC, they would get out the bus in fear. Mm-hmm. The one thing they have to worry about, right, is if it comes down to a tie, meaning records, USC might get the benefit of the doubt based on being USC.
I would hope the Big Ten has some non-ACC tiebreakers. I mean, that situation is
but I'm
wild,
just talking about like media-wise, pressure-wise, USC might get in.
Mm-hmm.
That would affect Washington and Illinois. Would not affect Nebraska.
Yeah,
Nebraska fans and everybody would blow it up.
Mm-hmm.
And so those things are. I mean, when you look at the top 10, like you said, you just take the top 3 out of there. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're all vying for the 4th spot.
Yeah,
and Big Ten most likely will get in 4. Right? That's fair. At least 3 to 4. Now,
I think you can pretty much bank 3, 4, depending on.
There's factors.
Yeah.
Who's really good in the SEC, how much pressure they've been able to put on the media, and then obviously what this 4th looks like.
Yeah.
So if it's a team that's coming up the back end, i.e. Nebraska, they're in. I think Nebraska is able to get into the college football playoffs or the number 4 spot. They play with a little bit more house money.
That I agree with. Is it going to be now?
But it has to look good though. It can't. It has to be excitement. It has to be you beat somebody. You have to win a top 20 or whatever. You got to beat a ranked team.
Probably 2.
Maybe 2. But your losses have to be like, dang,
coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Yeah, or like how Penn State lost to Indiana.
Yeah,
like as much as they're talking about Indiana, they talk about how Penn State played their butt off. They do that, they're in. That's a long way away.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never went into a season not thinking I'm gonna win.
Mm-hmm. What's the point?
Right. Now, people will say, "Hey, look, man, you can't. We haven't done anything. We can't talk about that." I totally agree, but we're on the radio. But I also think that I'm going to talk about it with the recognition that the amount of work and sacrifice that they're going to have to do in order to get there, that 100% is on them.
Mm-hmm.
Because the opportunity is there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm talking about, oh yeah, they could make the playoffs, and that sounds great, right? Players might hear it and be like, man, this dude on the radio think we can make the playoffs. Well, don't turn down the volume yet, because the volume needs to be turned up to the
11.
11. It's going to take a tremendous amount of sacrifice. It's going to take a mindset shift. It's going to be more will than want, because I feel wanting something is emotion. A will is instilled in you.
Want is motivation.
Right. And
need is discipline.
Yep. And we have got to have it. This is a gotta have it year. So that's got to be the mindset of controlled desperation, all that stuff. It can happen. In whether you're in Seattle, Washington, for Jed Fish talking to their team, or Champaign with Brett Bielema and his team, and obviously here with Matt Rule talking to his team. The message is all the same. It's there for the taking. We have to go take it. We can't talk about it. We have to do it. You know what I'm saying? We have to do it day in and day out. You have to be able to, live with the pats on the backs and the insults. You have to be the same in success or failure. You have to do it day in and day out, and you have to create the environment that, I wouldn't say you operate in fear, but I think it's a good peer pressure. Understanding every day you got to go out there and earn your job and earn your respect from your teammates.
Yeah, I mean, there's a healthy way to go about that, right? I mean, who's holding the fire to you? Who's pushing you to be there? Not just be there and show up, but be there making the most of the time, because it's happened for other schools before. Why can't it happen for Nebraska? Now, it's not just going to happen. You're not just going to luck into a college football playoff appearance. And that's why, Jamie, if you look at Nebraska, I think on the one hand, the schedule is okay. Well, you miss USC, right? Yeah, you miss USC, you miss Michigan, you miss Penn State. You're not playing them, but guess what? You're staring down Iowa. Same time, same place, as always. You get Washington coming to the crib. You get Illinois in a game, a type of game that both teams and programs should be plenty comfortable with. Those teams are the ones that are in your direct neighborhood right now to start the year, and you have a chance to beat them all. You have a chance to claim that tiebreaker, and, someone might go 3-0, if they have a similar schedule. Some might go 2-1, 1-2, 0-3, however it is that it worked out, obviously not being a true round robin. But you have all the teams in your neighborhood. And then on top of that, like you said, you have history that should be propelling you, not working against you. Because if you do go 3-0 in that stretch, and you have a big game at home against Ohio State, and you look the part, well, people have been waiting.
Yeah.
Now go work. Go make it happen.
You went to Ohio State a couple of years ago, after, I don't know, getting embarrassed or just not playing well, and got challenged, and you rose up to the challenge, and realistically tricked off a couple opportunities to, have the upset, of the century. It's no different than, at that point, Vanderbilt beating Alabama. So it'd be there. I mean, it's there for the taking. It'd be interesting to see where Nebraska is able to level up. It'd be interesting to see how they move in at the Big Ten. They're coming in on day 3. How they operate on it. You see, who's going. Justin Evans is going to be there and be the bell cow. It'd be interesting and see how they step into the arena, what I call the arena, Big Ten Media Days on Monday. And what's the vibe you get from other people, the national writers, the other writers in the Big Ten. What's the feel and what's the talk about Nebraska based on what they did in the offseason and based on what they've been told or talked with I'm assuming Coach Rule and company with. So we're going to take a quick break and come back. We're going to look in the schedule again of Nebraska and realistically look at it and compare, I guess, Nebraska towards Indiana and how Kirk Cignetti is able to get to this point right now. Everybody's looking at James Madison and the players. I think it's more than that. We'll take a quick break. Jay Foreman, us, Norman, we'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Green's Furnace and Plumbing has been servicing the southeast Nebraska area since 1921, specializing in HVAC systems, bathroom remodels, duct cleaning, backflow testing, and so much more. With a network of trained technicians ready to assist you, Green's Furnace and Plumbing is your source for dedicated commercial HVAC services for your business, building, or even your home so it can run without unwanted interruption. Learn more by visiting their website at callgreens.com or give them a call at 402-467-4444 today.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You started your business to build something special. Now it's time to grow and protect it. At Pinnacle Bank, our treasury management services help you do just that. Through smarter payment technology, account administration, and fraud protection. So no matter the size of your business, you can get the most out of your financial operations. Request your free consultation at pinbank.com/consult. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. Member FDIC.
Hi, it's Caitlin, an AmeriCorps member serving with Conservation Nebraska. Here, AmeriCorps members lead and provide environmental education, restore habitats, and connect communities to conservation resources. Through AmeriCorps, I have learned to serve and make an impact in caring for the land we love, the land of Nebraska. We serve, we learn, and we make an impact. AmeriCorps does that for people. Learn more at serve.nebraska.gov.
Visit servenebraska.gov. Paid for by Serve Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Iconic summer moments deserve an iconic drink. Reach for Mountain Dew, an American original. From its beginnings in the foothills of Tennessee to your biggest summer yet. The refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew is the perfect companion to your American summer adventures. Enjoy the refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew. Tasting great since '48. Look for Mountain Dew in stores near you at mountaindew.com. That's mountaindew.com.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at gainatrucking.com.
Looking for the ultimate game day spot? Arbor Axe House has everything you need. Axe throwing, cold beers, and the big game. Whether you're celebrating a win or talking trash with friends, nothing beats the rush of sticking an axe while cheering on your favorite team. Perfect for bullseye beginners and seasoned pros. Our axe throwing experts keep the fun going and the drinks flowing. Step up to the plate at Arbor Axe House. Book a lane at arboraxe.com or call 402-802-9696. Arbor Axe House on the corner of N Street and Antelope Valley.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy, so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Right now, lease a 2026 Ford F-150 for $195 per month for 36 months. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1009974. $195 per month lease for 36 months with approved credit. 7,500 miles per year. 10,000 due at signing. No security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 8/31/26.
Attention all golfers. If your Sunday is free this upcoming weekend, listen up. The 12th annual charity tournament for Clinic with the Heart takes place on Sunday, July 26th at 8 a.m. at Highlands Golf Course, and spots are available in this 4-man scramble. It's $400 per team with lunch included, plus giveaways and a silent auction. Register your foursome by this Friday, July 24th by clicking the link at the top of the McKinney's Irish Pub Facebook page. It's the 12th annual Clinic with the Heart charity tournament, 8 a.m. this Sunday at Highlands. Sponsored by Tipsy Tina's, McKinney's, Off Leash Dog Bar, Gate 25, Salt Mine City, and Michelob Ultra.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Right here in Lincoln, young people are waiting for someone like you. At Big Brothers Big Sisters, mentoring happens out in the community. Grabbing ice cream, shooting hoops, playing music, or just hanging out and talking. It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up, spending time, and building a positive, consistent connection with a young person. Just a few hours each month can make a lasting impact. Be big. Start something life-changing today. Learn more at bbbsmidlands.org.
Hi, it's Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC in Louisville. Koppel is proud to be the highest-rated GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln areas based on Google reviews. Right now, get 0% financing for 60 months on new Silverado and Sierra 1500 models. But hurry, this 0% financing offer won't last long. Visit us in Louisville or check us out online at koppelcars.com.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. I'm looking at the schedule here. Looking at it, Austin, you perked up my brain a little bit when you spoke about Kirk Cignetti, and now it's obviously brought a lot of pressure on everybody else in the whole wide world of college football, and have to have instant success. And what does it take, and what will it take? But I thought first, real quick, it'd be good to look at Nebraska's schedule, right? And maybe formulate where Nebraska can get up there and be that dark horse. So it could be the year, if you want to look at it, the year that Mel Tucker took Michigan State out of nowhere, to national prominence.
Mm-hmm.
He got paid, and Kenneth Walker just got super paid, again, down with Kansas City.
And nothing else ever happened. It was a happy story at the end.
It was the greatest 6 months in Michigan State football history, and they have a long history of winning. But you would have thought they had hit a diamond in the rough with Mel Tucker, and the transfer portal hit rate for him was like 80% that year. Went back to 0% the next year. But when you look at Nebraska's schedule, and I always say like this, if you're going to make noise, be that dark horse that comes out of nowhere, and you go from being, say, ranked 30th or whatever Nebraska is right now, and then, you get up there and you're inching towards the top 15 or whatever you need to be ranked to get in, right? Or maybe not even get in, just have that magical year. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Is when you look at, we're going to do two examples. Look at Michigan State that year, right? And you look at Indiana. I always think there's a pivotal victory that catapults them to national prominence and being legit in people's minds. When you think about Michigan State, it wasn't even a ranked team, I don't think. I remember interviewing Mel Tucker on the Big Ten network, and he was talking about when they were going down to play Miami in the heat, and how they were training for it, and how he was preparing them mentally, and how they were going to win, and what was going to happen, before the game and during the game, and what was going to happen after the game. Going down to Miami, even though Miami was not Miami that it is right now.
That was the number 24 team.
Right,
at
but
the time.
they're not where they are right now. But they were kind of like, yeah, you're 24, but you're not Miami Hurricane.
No,
right,
but it's also
you're
Michigan State that had just won at Northwestern, beaten Youngstown. So
right.
They weren't anybody.
But it was like, dang, you're actually 2-0. We expect you to be maybe 1-1, 0-2. That catapulted them to a feel-good story. Holy crap, Mel Tucker's a really good coach. The transfer portal really worked for him. He has an eye for talent. Kenneth Walker and that defense, and so that's their victory, right? And they rode it, obviously, all the way up until Ohio State walked the dog on them. But then they recovered after it, right?
Yeah. They got tripped up on the road at Purdue.
That's right.
For their first loss. That was the
right.
trap game, because they beat Michigan at home, 37-33. Then they had to go to Ross-Ade.
And then they got obliterated.
Then turned around, wrecked Maryland, and then got
steamrolled by Ohio State. That's right. And then, when you look at Indiana, oddly enough, going and beating up on everybody in those first few games. And I think did they beat UCLA?
Yeah, so week 2, they beat UCLA 42-13 in LA.
Yeah, they beat UCLA, and UCLA obviously wasn't very good. But
Indiana wasn't supposed to be either.
Right, Indiana wasn't supposed to be that good or anything. They beat them. And then I think for them, it was a Nebraska game. It was on national TV. Trust me, I was there. Nebraska was ranked then.
I'm just glad you made it back.
Yeah. Yes, trust me. And Nick was no help. Nebraska was ranked. And the way they beat Nebraska, right? And Kirk Cignetti, spiced it up even there. That made them legit. And so for Nebraska, when you look at the schedule, I think it now granted, the only game and the most important game is the first game.
The next game. The one you're playing.
Which is the first one, though, for Nebraska. The only thing that matters is how they prepare and beat Ohio. That's it. Then it goes on to Bowling Green. But when you look at Nebraska, everybody expects them to be 5-0 after the first 5 games. That means they beat Ohio, they beat Bowling Green, they beat North Dakota. 3 different types of non-con opponents, in 3 different ways you got to beat them. Ohio has a winning tradition, right? Frank Solich and his winning tradition is in that foundation. Yes, the coach had a mishap, but they are winners. They won 9 games, I think, last year. If you include the bowl game, tough teams, they put guys at the next level. They're going to be tough.
Picked 4th in the MAC, by the way, as of today.
All right. Just expect them to be the best or the best version of themselves. Then you have Bowling Green, led by Eddie George. And, they were a little bit on the come up last year. Now, by no means Big Ten ready, but it's not a rollover opponent. You better be coming ready to play. Eddie George was a competitor. He's trying to move up in the coaching ranks. They're going to expect them to compete. North Dakota is North Dakota, right? Obviously, almost got Scott Frost fired the week before then it actually happened because after the Ireland trip, it was a dogfight. Then you go to Michigan State. I think this is the pre-legit game.
Okay.
This is a game Nebraska should win, whether it's played here, Michigan State,
Dublin,
don't matter where you play. They should win this game, right? But also I think it's pre-legit because it's going to be viewed as legit because you beat Fitzgerald, which is a little weird. He's getting like too much iconic favor. It's almost like he's getting payback for being suspended. Like he was good at Northwestern, really good, but the last couple of years you were suspect
at best.
But you beat him, right?
The road.
You're on the road.
Conference opener.
Big Ten. I wouldn't say an iconic coach, well-respected coach. Defensive mind, you beat him, right? Sneaky good staff, talent, but you beat him. Then you come back home and you play Maryland, a team that's always been pesky. And this is where you're going to probably get the best version of Maryland. Extremely talented team. Coaching for his, coaching career there. And the last time Maryland came here, I think, was Matt Rose's first year. Yeah. Or first or second year, and then that was the whole thing. So they're going to come to compete, and especially off of last year. But you start off 5-0. So you have 2 of them are kind of pre-legit games. You go on the road, you win a road game, right? You come home, you defend your own turf. You win a game that you have to win and you're supposed to win. The pressure is on you and you deliver. Doesn't matter if it's 21-20, 17-16, you win the game. Then you go into the next week. Now you play the defending national champs at home. This game, obviously, if you win and win that one, you definitely are legit. But this is a game to see. This is a test game. Where are you talent-wise? Where are you mentality-wise? Where are you competitive nature-wise? Where are you cohesive in coaching? Coaching staff-wise, because they got a really good coaching staff over there. So what I mean is, this is like an evaluation game, but then also it's a game that you should be showing up expected to win. So it's a 2-pronged game. Those games are kind of hard. Like those games are kind of hard to make you legit because you could really knock out one, and then another one could be a close game, and then they know how to turn the gas on the end. So it's a learning experience.
Yeah.
So that game is not it. So we can.
See, I'm going to say that game is.
No.
Can I make my case? Can I make my case for Indiana? Let me attempt to Jedi mind trick you here.
Okay, let me hear.
Step into my office, young Padawan. Let me take you back to that Indiana team 2 years ago now. 2024, Indiana.
Okay.
Beat FIU, blast Western Illinois, steamroll UCLA, steamroll Charlotte, beat Maryland by a couple possessions, beat Northwestern by 17, Nebraska, Washington, Michigan State.
Mm-hmm.
The test game to me for Indiana, even though the team they beat wasn't the same as it was the year before, they beat Michigan. You think about the way that Indiana had handled the rest of its schedule.
Yeah.
Looked more impressive than you were ever going to give them credit for.
Yeah.
Maybe had some issues with Washington. I think that was the game they took a screen or something to the house, an interception return pretty early, kind of stuck it in cruise control the week after beating Nebraska. But think about the way that they just manhandled the early part of that schedule. Okay, well, then guess what? Calendar flips to November. Let's see what you're made of. You go on the road, you lambast Michigan State. You come back home to the defending champs, and you win a way you hadn't won before. 20-15. Rock fight type of game. You think Michigan's more comfortable in it. None of those other teams on Indiana's schedule had really been a test. That's maybe, bowl-ish Washington with some talent on it.
Right.
I think you can make the same argument for Nebraska's schedule this year. Maybe Ohio's better than anyone Indiana played in that non-conference.
Yeah.
Maybe Michigan State, this year is better than that UCLA team. I don't know.
It could be a toss-up or
Could
better.
be.
Yeah.
Maryland, same thing, but they're probably in the Nebraska-Washington tier. And then guess what? You turn around, you get the defending champs at home. If the offense is clicking, if the defense is rounding into form, I think it's setting up for Nebraska to have its 2024 Indiana moment against the defending champs, ironically, Indiana. Not the same, still good, but at home.
Somewhat believable. But Indiana, before they played Michigan, beat ranked teams, though. Right?
That 2024 Indiana team didn't
they
face
beat
a ranked opponent. According to this, Nebraska was not ranked at the time.
We were ranked then. Because Kirk Cinetti would have said Nebraska was ranked and we scored 50 points. Or maybe he was saying the defense.
Maybe, because according to Sports Reference.
Maybe he was talking about the deep. No, we were ranked.
Were they ranked at the time? Okay, then it must be going off of the postseason rankings.
We were ranked.
You're right.
But
okay, so they ranked at the
we're
time.
both right. That's why I said you beat a ranked team makes you legit for the work you did before.
Yeah, sure.
Now, if they beat Indiana, then you leapfrog what I said. Now you're in national prominence.
Yeah.
I think and we're coming up against, I think, and I guess we'll do it in a quick segment before we get off. I think it's the Washington game because they're in your wheelhouse and they're
same level as you hypothetically,
right?
Okay.
And no matter Jed Fish is there or DeBoer was there, they just were at the national championship a few years ago.
Yeah.
Right. And they've done some good things. They have the coach and quarterback combination, right? They have also the players going to the next level combination, right? Or factual. And they have an offensive line that's going to be one of the best in the nation on the sneak. Defense is, rest of be said. I think this game, it's going to be a night game. And it's coming off, obviously you're coming off a bye week, which then, you kind of, you got to face that. You haven't been playing well off the bye week. Now, granted, the Indiana game and Oregon game, I agree with you. You're right there, and it could be the same. I don't know if I guess we'd have to revisit this and see if Nebraska is where Indiana is at that point where Indiana was. Because what Indiana was doing was beating the brakes off teams, but they weren't making any mistakes. They were not turning over the ball. They were sound on offense, right? They were extremely stifling on defense, and they were just vice gripping people. And what they were doing is they were pouring it on, and they were having a standard of excellence. So if we show that, then we fast forward to that Indiana and Oregon back-to-back weeks, and that's where we're at because we had already done step one.
So if Nebraska is a college football playoff team, the validation game is Indiana. If Nebraska is an improved 8 or 9 win team, the validation game is Washington.
Is Washington and Illinois.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back-to-back.
Right. How can you handle can you beat one and then can you handle success? And can you go in the Lions Den under not really ideal circumstances? You win Saturday night, you play Friday night. Essentially, you're losing a day and a half. Yeah. Well, so what? Then you handle it. Then you get a little bit of a mini bye week coming off of that victory from Illinois.
I don't think I convinced you. I'm not sure you convinced me. Let's send it to the judges.
Yeah.
See how they scored.
We'll go to break, come back. Austin Orman, Jay Foreman. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy, so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Right now, lease a 2026 Ford F-150 for $195 per month for 36 months. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1009974, $195 per month, lease for 36 months with approved credit, 7,500 miles per year, 10,000 due at signing, no security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees expert. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 8/31/26.
Right here in Lincoln, young people are waiting for someone like you. At Big Brothers Big Sisters, mentoring happens out in the community. Grabbing ice cream, shooting hoops, playing music, or just hanging out and talking. It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up, spending time, and building a positive, consistent connection with a young person. Just a few hours each month can make a lasting impact. Be big. Start something life-changing today. Learn more at bbbsmidlands.org.
Looking for the ultimate game day spot? Arbor Axe House has everything you need. Axe throwing, cold beers, and the big game. Whether you're celebrating a win or talking trash with friends, nothing beats the rush of sticking an axe while cheering on your favorite team. Perfect for bullseye beginners and seasoned pros. Our axe throwing experts keep the fun going and the drinks flowing. Step up to the plate at Arbor Axe House. Book a lane at arboraxe.com or call 402-802-9696. Arbor Axe House on the corner of N Street and Antelope Valley.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white truck, you know the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built upon hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with room for advancement.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. It's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear that you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Iconic summer moments deserve an iconic drink. Reach for Mountain Dew, an American original. From its beginnings in the foothills of Tennessee to your biggest summer yet. The refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew is the perfect companion to your American summer adventures. Enjoy the refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew. Tasting great since 48. Look for Mountain Dew in stores near you at mountaindew.com. That's mountaindew.com.
At Planet Fitness, your pace is as personal as your playlist. That's why right now, you can get up to 3 free months of Apple Music when you join for just $1 down. With best-in-class equipment, free fitness training, and a judgment-free environment, we have everything you need to go your speed. Join Planet Fitness for $1 down and get up to 3 free months of Apple Music. No commitment. Deal ends July 31st. Additional fees and restrictions apply. See Home Club for details.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Husker fans, the 2026 Nebraska football season is quickly approaching, and we need you in the Sea of Red at Memorial Stadium this fall. Single game tickets for all 7 home games start at just $45 and are now available in both end zone and sideline seat locations. These tickets are only available while supplies last, so get yours today before they're gone. To purchase your Husker football single game tickets or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at gainatrucking.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. Last little quick segment. I think there's always that for teams that take that big step, for just the teams, for those players that take that big step. I think you have, everybody has their quote unquote breakout game, or you have that game where you're like, maybe they take notice of you. So, if that point Nebraska's 5-0, then you were able to validate that and beat Washington, and then able to double validate that with Illinois. And then obviously you stand on business against, Rutgers. Well, then, everything that's been said in, the past is gone. Not gone, but, like, oh, okay, we got to start taking these guys serious. The same thing, they faced Indiana. Now it came in warp speed because Kirk Cignetti had a plan at that basketball game to stir up attention, and he knew the schedule. He knew his players better than anybody else, and he knew that talent-wise, James Madison was better than a lot of teams that they were beating. And then they were able to validate it or make themselves legit against Nebraska, and then able to go toe-to-toe with the defending champs and win a game that's not their style, that hadn't been their style. Mm-hmm. So it let everybody know throughout the whole nation that they could travel. And I think also, if Kirk Cignetti would tell you, he would tell you the inexperience of the players on that stage hurt them more than Notre Dame's talent. On the road to Notre Dame, and it wasn't, they dealt with success fine, but dealing with being pulled in every single, more directions than you ever thought of. Mm-hmm. You're like from Aiden Fisher and all those guys, you're stardom on campus. You're going to Notre Dame. Mm-hmm. But that's also a good problem to have because you're able to come back and make it right the next year. So for Nebraska, that 3-game stretch of Indiana, Oregon, Washington, or 4 actually, or just those 3 mm-hmm. are significant tests in their journey of trying to get back to wherever they say they want to be, at the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, experience matters and it doesn't, but it does.
Yeah.
Right? There's a difference between manufacturing a big game, leading yourself to believe it's a big game, and telling yourself, oh, every game's a big game because we're Nebraska, or this has to be the game. Between me, I'm sure you know the feeling of an actual big game where you don't have to manufacture, you don't have to talk about it. Both sides know what's at stake. Both sides know the other team's legit and bringing their best. I just feel like Nebraska, has gotten so far away from legitimate, real big game environments. When Nebraska's in these games, it's, Nebraska's 5-3. Now, what kind of bowl are they playing for? Not, hey, Nebraska's 7-1 and this other team is 6-2 or 8-0, whatever it is. Here's a chance to legitimately, change the future of the college football playoff. Yeah. It's you or me. One of us goes
and
further, one of us goes home. And I just feel like maybe you can make the argument for USC last year. If Nebraska had found a way to win that game, Dolan stays healthy, et cetera, could that have been one of them? But that was fighting for 4th. Yeah. Maybe in the Big Ten.
That's to keep your hopes alive. That's
right.
And there's a
difference.
There's a difference, but there is credibility to that. And I think the big games that we need to get accustomed to, right, are just the big games. We are going there. The cameras are there. Mm-hmm. The fans are sold out. That's it. Mm-hmm. We don't need jerseys. We don't need any comedians or anything like that, in the stadium. We need to show up and kick ass. Mm-hmm. Period.
Yeah.
Those are the game, because because the reason why I say that's the mentality that you have to have as you go on when you're in the win or go home tournament. Mm. It's going to be it's going to be a big game because you got all the media there, right? But it's the same media obligations every single week. It's just that you got more people in the room. But it's the same thing, because if you go on the road and say at one point in time, now obviously Ohio State comes here, but just say you're you're 7-1, you go to 8-0 Ohio State. You think everybody on this green earth that has a media pass ain't going to be there? Everybody's going to be there. LeBron might be there.
They got nowhere else to be.
Right, they're going to be there. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have to get to that mentality. Like you said, you don't manufacture it. it's a big game because
it's a big game
and you're a big time team, and you've been playing like it. You're playing to validate it. They're trying to move on. You're trying to take their lunch money. They're trying to eat off their lunch money. It's very easy. So once you get to that mentality, they'll be good. So we shall see. Anyways, we're going to end this show on this Wednesday, on Hump Day Wednesday. Appreciate you guys listening. I want to give another big shout out to Graham Tire. From my man, Austin Orman, Jay Foreman. We're Old School. We'll holler at you tomorrow.